No one's watching. It's streaming in the but Telecom. As soon as any luck? Super. That means we can't. Seriously. Some data.
Test to make sure it's
I think he would run. An side joke, but we are being at the moment, but the world, but we are crazy like
Gets so
out. Tell abandon that G-Box tomorrow. Usual and spare like this with
this leg of a be able to hold your lane in this long starboard parade. These boats are so similar in speed that they all push the line, and we did have one boat that was black flagged, GBR boat 801 I think we had, so I'll just double check that for you guys. Yeah, 801, Mr. Higgs from GBR. There are 3 up actually. They will be going home. There probably was a board at the top. We can see to our around this change of interesting. I think line straight practice straight. Because again, like 77 boats against 77. It's going to make this actually see just over. There's more. I have to check. So I lost Saturday against to make breezes being when there's a change back to the one you are at the bottom. So in between. It's just a little
incredible. Hey. What's the deal? What do you mean, what's the deal? I understand that. We're trying to solve the problem. I mean, believe me, I'm not stopping working on it. Alright. So in general, we always will need to be as close out here.
Yeah, okay.
Always. And you just can't shoot from this far away with looking decent. So you're okay for now, because right now than anything else.
Okay, good to know.
You're going to always want to be as close as you possibly
So
can.
the rebound.
Yeah. And kind of the similar thing, like after the start, so you go immediately with the wave, so they're up and all.
Just up front.
Front, you're going to be screwing with them, but yeah, just outside. You know, before you start to get your weight in.
We'll check at the finish how many changes we had during this second beat. We are just trying to get our connection to work properly so you guys can have a little bit better resolution. So we're floating around down near this bottom mark. But if you've just joined us or managed to find the link somewhere, I'm not sure we've got many people watching live, but we're here for the J70 Worlds with the Sailing Anarchy World Tour. My name's Nick Douglas, otherwise known as the Sailor Girl from Adventures of the Sailor Girl. Continuing my own European adventures. This breeze does look a lot more even now. Très bien. Say on the radio. Be a really good position for this finish. Let's see if there's any penalty calls today. Yesterday the umpires got a bit happy, or maybe they were sort of setting the boundaries. Tendencies in really strict one design fleets to push the start and to push Rule 42, especially when there's plenty of waves around. We do have planing conditions today, so. Extension, probably about a minute and a half from the top mark now, so then we will see those shoots set, and I will try and have a bit of a guess as to what order we have from the colours of the Spinnakers from the last lap. And we can play snap when they come round the bottom. All good fun.
Super windy, however you're holding it.
Copy. Sorry about that wind noise, guys. We aren't using an external mic right now. We may have to go back to the external mic if the wind is an issue. Which is how we go. This is our test case, race 1. Okay, we'll be all gold stars for tomorrow. You reckon, Gracie?
Yeah.
We've got Gracie behind the camera. And actually log on and see. That's how salty the water is. Good images probably. Guys. Maybe I should. Go back. left
J7,
again now, and
not
we're
J7.
starting to see these boats approach that top mark. Definitely high on the left, up at that top section, top third. Take my glasses off. See how good my vision is. 1.5 nautical mile beat, and I'm calling these boats. Here we go. You ready? One on approach. Again. Very split breeze.
You gotta get closer to the mic, Nick.
Hoisting now.
Nick,
Yep.
way closer to the mic.
We do have the first boat hoisting now. It looks like they do have a pink chute. So that will be our friends from America, Mr. Bowen, Thomas Bowen, Martin Coleman, Ann Bowen, and Raymond Wolf. I thought I saw a glimmer of a pink chute. May be mistaken. Here we go. Is that? We're gonna tape a floppy.
I don't know. We gotta try something.
We're just coming up with some innovative DIY options for fixing this microphone.
Sam, see if you can help me with that.
You can just plug the external. Yeah, I reckon. Yeah.
I've got a more cat hairy one for later.
Puppy. Just do it. Puppy? Oh, you gonna... He wants this one. Fingers. Yep, and that pink chute is definitely first around the final top mark for this first race of the J70 World Championships, followed by the blue chute, which was Ian Atkins, the GBR boat, who made a little gain down that middle section of the last run, and a white chute, which I think was USA 2 Tim Healy, but we'll see about that, which means there's a little bit of a change up between USA 95 and USA 2. Heather Gregg will be in fourth with the green chute. Little bit of an issue with their set, and now their spinnaker is full. Excellent work. We're going to see a big starboard parade again here with this breeze in the left. It looks like it's shifting back to the right in about 4 minutes, at a guess. Pretty steady oscillations between this gradient breeze and the sea breeze, not to say that it's not an exceptionally variable angle. No wonder the race committee were having trouble. They've always got the trickiest job, I think. Everybody's watching. a little bit of a battle going on here between first and second, and even third. I think it looks like that white shoe who is they've even gotten over the top of both Bowen and Atkins. May have lost his leverage for the jibe. We will see what happens once we get to this corner. Still about a minute and a half off the jibe at least. There's a big gap between the first 6 or 7 boats and the next little pack. It's exceptional when you have boats that are so similar in speed. It really is important to keep them uprange all the time. You think that
Zoom out, please, please.
these guys are going to come around this black mark straight across us. We may even have to go forward a little bit and straight into the finish over here between this white mark and the boat. And the perfect position for plenty of action. And I may go quiet for a little bit after the first 5 boats, just so I can make sure I get you the top 10 for this first race, and we'll continue from there.
Huh? Yeah, that's perfect. So, with Gracie, in general, when we're shooting in a crazy situation like this, don't ever do that long shot, because it's useless. It's better to zoom in on these guys, or just shoot Nick, or shoot Frederick. You know, just shoot something, because it's just, you see how it is. It makes you nauseous. Okay? So folks, thanks for staying with us, and thanks to Nick Douglas for keeping it going. It's we have got a lot of issues today, but it's day one and it's France, and there's a lot of reasons to have issues. It's not making it any less beautiful out here. A perfect day for sailing in La Rochelle, and it's always a good day when your friends are doing well. The interesting thing about this week, Nick, and the exciting thing for me, is having sailed in this fleet for a full year, or most of a year, sailed against a lot of these guys. The international battles are unbelievable. They're really interesting. You have Carlo Alberini from Calvi Network with Branko Brichin, one of those 30. Maybe I shouldn't say maybe he's going to be up for saying that. But you got Branko with Carlo Alberini. They won Key West against a really all-star cast. You've got Tim Healy, who we saw doing the wing and wing, a wild thing. It's probably moved into first place. We'll see. We'll see if this wing and wing is really the way that people are going to sail these boats, and if so, if we're just going to all put poles on them and go symmetrical. We've got who else do we got in the nations battle? We have the Spitfire guys from Britain, right? We have
Simon Lane.
Yeah, Simon. What's his last name? Lane. Yeah, he's excellent, really quick. And
Mexicans.
We got the Mexicans. We have Flojito, right? Equiparando.
And Fernandez, who's sailing with Bill Hardesty, is actually in that top 10 mix. So that's cool.
Right.
Yeah, Bill Hardesty's on tactics.
And they did really well at Worlds. They got, I think, second at Worlds, if I remember right. They were so quick.
Yeah.
And they had Hardesty. They had Creature. They have Creature. They have Willem Van Way as well.
Yeah.
So they got Creature. They have Creature's one of the most winning one-design sailors in the whole world. The guy's won 3 FAR 40 Worlds, 3 Mogus. I mean, he won everything. Won those Etchells Worlds with Hardesty.
Here's sailing up under Tim Healy. He'll be hoping to get him on the jibe here. It's going to be awesome.
And now check out the ferry boat coming through the course here. It's pretty cool. And we're going to try and not show you these boats when they're far away, because there's just too much chop out here. There's an unexpected 15 knots of breeze. We didn't think we'd have it, and I think no one was really expecting it, and that's kind of why we see a huge spread on the downwind. There's massive differences in the modes these guys are sailing. But so that was so Americans. We've got Healy, the world champion, as well as Tom Bowen on Coleman, who's won pretty much the entire winter series as a helmsman. He's here as a tactician, and Tom Bowen with his wife Ann from Charleston, and we love those guys. They're great. They're hilarious. So that's America, England, and Italy, and Mexico. What else we have?
Germany.
We have Germany. We have some good sailors. We have a Dutch team, a top Dutch team. Very quick. And the Chileans are
There's a
super
Chile-
keen.
Chicago,
Super
Chile.
keen. Yeah, everyone's like, hey, that's the Chicago boat. It's not the Chicago boat. And you can see there's the RAF boat. You can see, just look, gray spinnaker with a little dot. It's like the RAF on the Spitfire, right? Or the. And these boys are in the RAF, aren't they? Yeah, or most of them RAF or ex-RAF, or they're pretty hardcore, and it's a serious battle. Most of the time, when one country goes up, it brings, they bring along the sailors with that country, and then you sort of, those guys get really, really good, like the way the Italians dominated the Melgus 24 for quite some time. In this fleet, because it's so young, even though America got a real big jump on things, it's rapidly moving up, and guys like Philippe.
we have another bar.
You have some really good French sailors in this fleet already, guys that are used to sailing 100-foot maxis and things like that, and they're here messing around in a nice 75 boat fleet for the first ever J70 Worlds outside of the U.S. and only the second in history. So yeah, that's my bit of excitement. I am excited. I apologize for if you guys are listening to me bitch and moan about the networks. It's just sort of the bane of my existence is trying to find internet, and in most of the world it's not a problem anymore, but the French have their own way of doing things, and you got to figure out the key. I think Frederick taught me the key, and hopefully tonight we can go hunt down the equipment we need to actually turn the key in the lock and get you guys nice 720 PhD and have it all going really nicely.
Really ripping in here. It's awesome.
Definitely on the plane today. I mean, we didn't expect to see.
I told you.
You did, Fred. You told me. You said they're going to be on the plane. And I mean, we're in 15 knots with puffs to maybe 16, 17. Nice swell setting up down with these, or at least a decent wind-driven chop, which really is what these boats need to get on a plane. They need to get picked up by a wave and then drop down the wave, and then they can stay with it for a while. And I think they need about 18 knots to really plane in the flat water. But in this stuff, and there really is plenty of breeze. It doesn't feel that breezy, but there's definitely plenty of breeze moving these guys. And I think we can now look at this battle for first place here. 4 boats.
Yeah, it's looking awesome. And from what I can gather,
so we got the blue on the right, and then we got white and pink and left. So blue is that the Mexicans?
nah, blue I think is Ian Atkins.
Ian Atkins.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So the definitely the top British boat, right?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And they were, I think, 6th at Worlds or something like that. So very top British boat is Ian Atkins, who looks like they've overhauled Reach around there. I can't tell. Who's windward there, Nick?
In the white?
Yeah.
Not actually certain.
Okay, but it is Reach around in 3rd, and it is Helly Hansen, Tim Healy in 4th. And we don't see Healy doing the wing and wing thing. And then if you go left for 2nd, Blue Kite with the stripe. There's Alberini on the Calvi network. And there's Shavasana just to the 2nd, just to the right with the white with the funny red yoga stick man. So Shavasana, a super top performing US boat.
Really interesting job here.
And look at Green's got it really nice, but it's Alberini. Alberini is stacked up. Let's stay with the blue boat here for just a second. Look at him. He is stacked up. He is hauling the mail right there. He called a pretty cheeky ley line and had to power up a little bit. And he likes his angle here. Other boats are coming across here. Let's zoom out here and watch it wide.
They're gonna come around.
Nick, you got to turn around and talk all the time, okay?
These guys are going to come around.
All right, so check it out here.
Guys. They're going
So this is Ian Atkins, boats.com, 537 on starboard. There goes Alberini ducking. Big duck from Alberini on port now. And luffing the kite through the jibe is Reach around. He's going to have to go, whoa! And Alberini, look at Alberini's going to try and sneak through ahead of Healy. I don't know. There's some, no way. They do not have room there. Alberini, no way do they have room. Stay with them, stay with them. There is no way in the world. That is 100%.
Straight to this white mark over here.
It's all on video. Oh, that is called an Italian rape job. Would you agree? Oh yeah, full rape from the Italians. I'm gonna forecast a turn here. I would hope that they do their penalty turn, and that was super cheeky. And there's no umpires to be found, I think. Don't get too far away here. So we'll just keep an eye on them. We'll see if they do their turn. I don't know. I mean, to me, that was all inside the zone at 14 knots going downwind. That was all inside the zone, and I think the Italians should definitely. And they go, yeah. Come on, boys. Come on, boys.
Oui, j'ai copié ça. Donc, je suis à peu près sûr.
They got the worst of it anyway. They were going upwind with the kite on the rail, so not the greatest move, but an interesting way to start a regatta, and definitely reach around. Got the rape job there. And back here, we're already into the Germans. And remember, folks, this is the first race of a, who knows, 10 to 12 boat world championship, depending on the breeze. We'll see how it goes. Here goes the RAF Benevolent Fund. And who's this?
Ling,
you know,
Simon Ling.
Simon Ling right there.
Yeah.
What is it with British military and J70s? I don't know what that's all about, but they've been doing it for a while. They did it in the Melgus 24 class as well, and there was always a benefit or a cause, and it's yeah, we love that. You shouldn't only be racing for fun, right? It should be able to bring along someone with you.
I believe Carlo didn't do his turn there, which moves him up to third. From the last bottom mark, he was in sixth, so it's very, very sneaky. And in second place, we saw the Mexicans slide through, so that is Julian Fernandez with Bill Hardesty. I did mention that one as an interesting one to watch when they rounded the bottom mark the first time, and great to see them slide all the way up to second from eighth at the first bottom mark. That's a big mover and a shaker in a fleet like this. So.
And this is what the finish is here with the white buoy, yeah?
Yeah, just here. So between the white and the blue.
That is some cheeky stuff there. Unfortunately, it's all on the web. I hope. Yeah. I hope we're streaming that whole time, Jack. But we'll see. You know, I mean, guys, what do you think? If you thought it was interesting,
oh, it's totally.
What do you think? Put it on Facebook. You know, we'll clip it out actually at the end of the day, and we'll see how it goes. But to me, that looked like just absolute no room. Didn't have room on the inside there, first of all, because he didn't have overlap when they got to the zone. Didn't have room. He made was it Shavasana Luff and go behind him, and they were on starboard. It's just all wrong. Let's go back here. We got another kite coming down here on the Monaco boat. That might be, is that going to be Luca Domenici? Monaco 458, Nick?
Monaco 458.
Bow 16.
Have a little bit of a look.
So we have Monaco, Italy, and Great Britain all with us. And again, if you've watched these before, folks, you know by the end of the week, we usually know who's who.
Jacopo Corrame.
Jacopo Corrame on Carpe Diem. That's a pretty quick boat, right? Those guys are quick.
Yeah.
But the other, besides Alberini, we also have Luca Domenici on the Notaro, which was a great Melgus 20 program, along with the killer, Benedetto Gialongo, who was like the top Melgus 20 guy forever. Got great teams here. You've got even some real big boat teams, some catamaran teams. Got the Pied Piper, 13-year-old, was he 9 years old? You remember how old he is?
He's 9.
He's 9 years old, driving the Pied Piper. Awesome. I forget his name. We've done some great interviews with him over the years, but unbelievable kid, and he's super quick, super quick. And now, the first 20 boats have finished, and here comes the fun part, okay? When you're watching J-Boats, the fun part starts at about 20. And I mean, that's for me anyways, and like, for all you guys at home, when you're sitting in your office, you want to see everyone having a good time. We got the biggest puff on the course right here. We've got about 8 boats overlapped. As they come into this mark, then they have to come around this mark, turn left, and go to a finish. So it's a drop and a reach.
722's in trouble.
They are. So 46 with the purple kite has the lead, but it looks like this Swedish, that's the Rocad Racing boys from Gothenburg. And they're going to try and get through the lead there. 46 can't drop his kite into the other boat. That's the additional problem there. And look at them, 3 abreast they come. Bow 61 is the US boat there. Pretty good stuff there. Sweden, Great Britain, US. And here's the Hamon Camus, French.
Well, does not have an overlap in here. They have no right.
Ooh,
no rights
just
on
getting
29.
through there. Remember, these boats have a meter and a half of bowsprit sticking out.
That was very sneaky for us, 257.
That was a nice job from those guys. And here's the Sol Australian boat here, rocking and rolling their way down here, looking a little out of control.
This is their second day sailing on a J70.
Aussie 007, and I think 13, 14 boats chartered here for this regatta, including Aussie, Chile, a few Americans.
Now, if you want a quick update on the top 10,
go.
Here we go. In first position we had GBR, Atkins 557. The Mexicans with Fernandez and Hardesty, as I mentioned, 384. In third, but this is pending, Alberni. We'll see how he goes. Italy 456. If you've just joined us, he just did a bit of a sneaky one on Bowen. They're out for, I think it's their second day sailing on their brand new boat, their brand new J70 839. In fifth, another US boat, Tim Healy. US again in sixth position with Heather Gregg.
Whoa!
Seventh.
Whoa, where did they come from? The jury didn't see him at all. Jury had no idea. And these guys just had to alter course for the jury.
Oh my goodness.
You guys.
In seventh position, Brian Keane, 96. In eighth position, Klaus Lehmann, he's from Germany. And in ninth position, 1, 2, 3, that's Simon Ling, a little bit of a loss for him, back to ninth. And then your Domenchi, he was actually 10th, 725, maybe move up to 9th depending on what happens with Alberni.
These guys, the funny thing is these guys, most of these guys that are coming into the class knew no matter how great they are, they're going to have some really bad results.
Yeah.
We've seen it over and over again since this class started. It's funny to watch how they bounce back, and some of them can't.
Look, the tiger are coming. Look at the pink one. Look at them. Look at them. It's a tiger team.
The tiger team. What do you mean? What tiger team?
Look, tiger team.
Oh, they're in onesies.
Oh my God. The tiger team. You weren't joking. I thought it was some name of a. That's Philippe Guignon, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Wow, that's the inventor or the owner of the virtual regatta that just gave away a IWC watch to the winner of the Volvo Ocean Race game. But Philippe runs the virtual ocean races. If you've ever done them, that's that guy. And they're wearing tiger suits, which is hilarious. They are absolutely hilarious. I think those are the guys that generally they get to the top mark and 4 cigarettes come out immediately. You know? Vive la France! Vive la France! So a little bit more action coming up for you. Sweden back here as well. Few Swedish boats. That is the Dynamont. And remember, folks, this boat landed on these shores less than 3 years ago. I think 2 years and 8 months. The first boat racing in France, something like that.
Sorry.
How long ago was the first boat racing in France?
2 years.
2 years, just 2 years.
2 years, yeah.
So 2 years from the first boat hitting the shore here to a 77 boat world championship from 16 countries. It's really impressive. You know, you can say what you want about the boat. We all know it's not the quickest thing in the world. It's not the latest state-of-the-art high-tech sport boat. But I'll tell you, J-Boats does the right job and they've got the right reputation, and people aren't afraid to drop 50, 60 grand on a boat and know that the Johnstone's got them covered. You know? Look at this, right through the back of the fleet. Front to back, we've got action. And I mean, this is just as tight for the back 20 boats as it was. It's actually even tighter here than it was in the top. And that's why the J70 is succeeding already, is because no matter where you go in the fleet, you're going to have great racing. The boats are equal enough that there's always going to be great races throughout the fleet. We'll talk later in the week about the differences between the French-built boats and the American-built boats, and who's got what setup. And there's plenty of differences in between the way the boats are sailed, for sure. But at the end of the day, they pretty much go at the same speed. We can just kind of trail in with the group here. Gracie, just come in here and just kind of get a shot of this. Folks, I know you're going to get some wind noise here, but just so you see how many boats are going to cross the finish line at roughly the same time. It's not an easy job at all for the scoring group. Not easy for our group either. And again, a huge thank you to Sperry. We would never be able to cover this event without their support. Sperry's a big fan of the J70 class. Let's get out of the wind. Just go on me for a second. Big fan of the J70 class, and you know, not just because they're up in Massachusetts and there's all that J70 racing going on in Newport, but they just love the youth, all the women in the class. There's families in the class. It's like the anti-Rockstar formula, you know. I don't know if you remember it, but if you ever done a regatta when the FAR 40s are there, or the RC 44s, or even the TPs, and you walk down the dock and you're not on one of those boats, there's so much attitude, you know. There's just attitude, like. And maybe not so much anymore, but in the heyday, when the sport started to get this really bad reputation, you know, it was so uninclusive and unwelcoming. If you happen to be a girl or black or gay or any of these things, you just didn't feel welcome. And that's changed a lot well, actually, Gay, you felt welcome, and Jim, I hope you're watching this, but that's changed, and that's one of the reasons for the ascension of the J70 is, yeah, there are guys spending $200,000 for 2 regattas. Yes, I know that. Yeah, there are guys that, including the boat that I race on, that has a 12-meter long box trailer with a big screen TV and a full blender, and we party our asses off, but we invite everyone to the party. And whether you're on the course or at home, this class is all about inviting everyone to the party, and that's great. I mean, it's certainly what the sport needed a little bit. It needed a shot in the arm, and to the tune of almost 1,000 boats sold in 3 years. Unbelievable. Almost 977.
And 900 before the end of the year.
977 ordered, I'm told, but that's Stu Johnstone. So
yeah.
Stewie, So 1,000 certainly before the end of the year, without question. And I think if we have some more breeze like this, I think a lot of people will see the pictures and go, I'm ready. For you folks who want to see the pictures, check them out online, facebook.com/sailinganarchy. The spectacular Sander van der Borg, Artemis photographer, and shoots everything, but one of the best in the business, and he's getting some great work, great stuff on the web in roughly real time, with huge thanks to the lovely and accomplished and 9 months pregnant Meredith Block. I love you, baby. What else? What else you got, Nick?
I'm just putting a post up on Facebook myself of that awesome bottom mark rounding with the Mexicans and the Italians and the new US boat, so you can have a little bit of a look at that. But I think the guys will cut the footage out later so you can see the full moving pictures, but I'm not quite sure whether he'll get away with that one. Depends whether someone feels like protesting on day 1 of a 4-day regatta. I don't think I'd be too keen on that either myself.
The thing is though, is if you're gonna protest, this is the race you protest, because especially with the Italians, and again, I've done my time on Lake Garda. I smell the cigarettes as well. I've done my time on Lake Garda. We know how the boys sail. The French can be just as bad, but the Italians are known for it. And you got to keep them honest. So if that means getting them DSQ'd from this one, and I guarantee you that this video evidence, which is admissible, but this video evidence would be dispositive, I think, depending on how it looks. We don't know for sure, but they probably should go to the room, get the boys tossed, and send notice that they're not gonna take that, because if you let them do it now, they're gonna do it the whole regatta, and over and over and over again. We see it, and at the end of the regatta, someone goes, "Oh, I got Italian. They came in on me at the last mark, and then they had someone go and testify, and they won the pro." Well, you know what? If you had been protesting them through the week, it wouldn't happen. And yeah, I mean, that's what you see in fleets where there are guys who insist on their rights. You don't see a lot of fouls. But when everyone lets it go, which is how it works in Italy and France, people let it go, you end up with 9 guys coming at the mark and 1 guy coming in on port and destroying everyone's day. So let's hope we don't get any of that. I'm gonna go prepare this next one. Nick, the next one we're gonna do it as we're gonna actually record it in high res. And we're going to do it as the beginning, sort of. We'll say that it's race 2, but we're going to do it as a hard intro, and I'll turn it over for you to talk conditions. So I'm going to go set that up with the Wonder Jack.
And I guess you're stuck with me, guys. Just chilling here.
I'm slide by you, my friend.
Putting a little post up on Facebook here to Adventures of a Sailor Girl. Well, that was some action for the first finish of the J70 Worlds. Not sure that Alberni had room on Bowen. I'm not sure. Very, very cheeky, but see out here, this pressure is actually starting to build. Question about whether or not it's planing conditions, which was the primary discussion of the skippers meeting this morning. Lots of people apparently got a bit trigger happy yesterday with some. Well, they're not using yellow flags at this regatta, they're using red flags, and interestingly, there's no 720 either, it's a 360, so they've actually modified the penalty a little bit, which is interesting, but then it's still the second call in a 42 is a disqualification from the race, but all penalties have been modified to a 360, which is kind of nice because it keeps you in the mix, especially with boats that aren't necessarily the fastest boats. It's similar to the Extreme 40s having the stop and start penalty. It's nice to see that people are taking the handling conditions of a boat into consideration when they're thinking about penalties and whatnot. But that aside, it's like all the boats are finished now, so it wasn't really, I think it was maybe 10 minutes between the first boat and the last, which isn't so bad for a 77 boat fleet. And we'll see these guys probably reset the course back to that, I guess around maybe even 290 mark. Maybe they'll set an average between the direction that we're seeing. I think these guys might be getting some fuel in and paper towel. Might help these guys out a bit. Sunny, it's cloudy. It's sunny, it's cloudy. We've got an interesting little cell building out here. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see a storm by the end of the day. A heat wave in Europe for the past week. Apart from yesterday when Gracie arrived and it started raining. We've got the beautiful Gracie behind the camera and also Jack downstairs, both working for Red Handed TV, and they're here to help out. We have Sender van der Bosch who's doing plenty of photos, Petey Crawford from Penalty Box Productions, of course Alan Block, Meredith at Home, Sailing Anarchy, and myself, Nick Douglas, from Adventures of a Sailor Girl. And a Sailor Girl would be me, in case you're wondering. So it's quite awesome when you bring together a big conglomeration of people like this, and we just see what we can do to bring you action from an event that may not otherwise be covered. So big thanks to Sperry and all of our supporters for letting us be out here on the water, because I don't know where I'd rather be. I posted a picture earlier again. Aren't going right, it's definitely not the wrong place to be. So pretty exciting. We'll be ready to go here for the start of race 2. We did have race 1 rolling, but we weren't quite there with the stream, so you may have caught some of the action of the Port Tack start. It's always something brave at the first heat of a World Championship to go, alright, I'm going to back myself to do a port start. It's lessons for me when I'm a sailor as well to think about that. Usually I'm not so aggressive on day 1, but we've seen plenty of aggression. Plenty of people want this World Championship. Second J70 Worlds ever, and you kind of want to get your name on that trophy early, but this fleet continues to build in quality, as it seems to be, and numbers. Very, very tricky regatta in years to come, let alone for the next few days. Just here we have the Mexicans going past the back of the boat. It's Fernandez, hard to see on board. They just posted a score of number 2 for heat 1. Not too shabby, boys, not too shabby. But the win did come from Atkins after a big gain. Down the last run, a sneaky little move on Bowen, sailed over the top. Once they got to the jibe position, was patient enough to let Bowen jibe first, and then sail back over the top of him again. Come into the bottom mark with plenty of space in front of the mess that was behind him. It's all good fun. I think this is one of those classes you'd be sailing and just hoping and praying as you came into the bottom mark that you'd have a clear lane, because they're quite tricky to stop once they get a bit of momentum happening. I kind of want to go sailing. Maybe we should hijack one. You can see here we're sort of facing into this chop that the competitors are dealing with. Very sharp, short and choppy, and this tide will keep going out all the way through till 4 PM. La Rochelle is the first place that I remember actually seeing real tides. I came here in 2006 for the Yingling Worlds. We had to crane our boat down and I had to climb down this skinny little ladder, and I'm from Australia, so our tides, especially in the eastern part of the country, 2 meters are our biggest tides that we get. And I remember going, wow, that's a tide. And I'll always remember this place for that. And so today we've got that force rushing outwards. A lot of water up in this river, but also basically the entire Gulf, I guess, is also moving northwards. So big hook turn. So that's why you'll see all of the boats doing this long starboard jibe, not only because it seems to be favouring in that top third into the left-hand side of the course, but also to stay out of this current, which is pushing out of the river over here. So I think we can expect to see similar tactics for the next race. And I think that I'll probably have to repeat a lot of this for the start of race 2 when Alan comes up here and wants to go again. We'll do our proper intro. Yay! There's our other media crew. He's downstairs doing some work. Here we have Sander van der Borsch and Petey Crawford.
Hi to all my fans.
Hi! How was that, guys? Good photos? Good images?
Good. Big shift.
Yeah, big shift. Nice little lefty. How'd you like that last bottom mark? Into the finish?
Boulevard.
Yeah. That's it?
Stayed on top of
Nice. Nice little starboard ley line for you today. Driving to value. I was driving them yesterday and we were at the top mark and I was trying to back up to get them into the perfect position. I may have succeeded in getting them in the perfect position. This massive water came over the back and poor Sanders' big camera box was actually floating. Pictures of a sailor driving girl. They still yeah, which are already up. Must be getting sick of my face. This is the result sheet. Should we look at it? Sorry guys, I'm left-handed. A little bit messy. And are you getting seasick? Are you getting seasick? This is, and in case you're wondering why it takes me a little bit of a while to translate the boat numbers, we've got pages and pages with 77 boats, so 3 to 4 crew members. Got a bit on.
We've altered everything so that it's working.
And this is the race track. That's actually alright. Yeah. Good graphics there. Graphic overlay. Bye! I was going to post this picture and I got distracted. I'll do it now. Well, that was some action for the first finish of the J70 Worlds. Not sure that Alberni had room on Bowen. But thanks for the entertainment. Hashtag Sailor Girl. Hashtag Adventures. Hey. We're going Petit Français. I was like, what? J70 class. There we go, there we go. You know when you're waiting for a tag to pop up on Facebook? Check in. feeling
Donc je
slightly damp. Excited. Toast. That's the magic behind Adventures of Celica. Might have to use that one for a highlight. Definitely getting cloudy.
What's the latest update from the race?
We may see some of the feels to me like it's going to want to go left again. Gut instinct, we'll see.
Who's ever taken onto the boat?
It was that I think
It looks like they're moving the start
because I had
back to where it was.
correct directions.
It's over on this side. They'll probably leave this white mark in place and set up for that hook again. Feels to me like it's even going to go further left than where it was. Just have a little bit of a listen to those headings. When Frederic, our amazing driver, and is just running around like a madman at this regatta, filling in all the gaps, making sure everyone knows where they're meant to be. It's incredible. Nice to be on the water. See how good my gut feel is. Could be completely wrong, and then I've got no credibility at all. Credibility quashed. We're looking at about 265 to 270 again right now. This is my internal compass.
It's on now. With all the
I really like that these boats have a furling heads on.
On the Jason.
It's for and against for a furling heads on, but at least it means that in between races you're not destroying it. Although you could drop it on the foredeck. I should shout out to my intro crew. How you doing, my intro crew?
There.
entry list.
Perfect.
Not in a sequence as yet, so for those watching at home who might want to know what the sequence is, we're looking at an orange flag, a minimum of 5 minutes before the actual sequence, and then a standard 5-4-1. And the course is 2 laps, top mark, pitch mark, and a gate. We did have a little bit of a difference and a change of course in that first race due to the big shift to the left, so they did have 1 bottom mark. But they are aiming to have gate marks, which will make it, I would say, a little bit less entertaining. It's not always good fun when you have all the boats going around 1 bottom mark, but they will be out here on the running here. That's where most of here we commentating it. Love. Always learning. Asked to come and help about that. So many votes. I mean, 839, I think. That's the newest hull number. That's the boat that came fourth. Got a little bit. Yeah, 839. It's these guys. I think they got a little bit hard done by that bottom mark, but that's the newest hull. Literally got put together yesterday. So that's a lot of boats in 2.5 to 3 years. Are you warm enough, Miss Gracie? Yes.
On a prepared earlier.
Oui, je pense à 4 et puis on va un petit peu sur le 270.
I've got salt all over me. It's that salty in the water. I remember that actually.
Ok, on est
They might extend. First.
The last one was
Gracie, come off Nick for a sec. Let me know, Jack, as soon as we're good.
Yeah. Can I move?
All right, now we get to do a proper intro. Ooh, white balance, white balance. What happened to the light? It was so beautiful when I went below and had a little baguette. Listen, folks, welcome to 70 World Championship here in La Rochelle, France. It's 2015, the second ever year for this World Championship. 77 boats, 16 countries, and some really, really exciting racing in between the long stretch watching from Wakefield. Hang out here and watch some action and get you the mark roundings, and we hope you'll stay with us for the day. Let's have a quick look though at a quick preview of who's you.
What about you?
1 minute. Is that right?
3, 4,
Right, guys. So there is a little look at who's out here. You see the countries, you see the players. There's some awesome, awesome sailors. I fortunately got to race in this fleet last year. Got to know a lot of the boys and girls. And it's a great fleet. It's full of family programs, including the guys just got, I think, second on reach around, Tom and Ann Bowen. It's of girls from all over the world. It's full of ex-military, it's full of old guys, young guys, and everything in between. And it's great racing. This is race 2 of what we expect to be a 10 to 12 race championship with one drop. One more. Inside 30 seconds to a start. Gracie, maybe you can swing over the right side of the boat here. And we'll have a look at what it's shaping up to be like conditions. 12 to 14 knots of breeze here, folks, from the northwest. 77 boats, single line, and no midline boat. So before we had a general recall, it'd be interesting to see how aggressive this race officer is with Z flags and black flags and all that kind of thing. We've got a nice clear lane to go up there now. I don't know who's in this blue boat, but it doesn't look like a professional. So you can go.
We are part of the race committee.
Ah, okay, so we got to go outside now. Okay, no problem.
Just outside of them, you know.
Yeah, not easy for the race committee to figure out who's over early with 77 boats here. They're going to do their best. Last start?
Yes.
There were.
Black flag. In a race one of their.
So here's one thing you have to monitor,
Oh.
because that will drain battery pretty quickly. That was one of the things that was supposed to come that didn't come, was the big battery. It would take away all of our sound problems.
Yeah.
So I think it looks like final approach here.
Still got a minute to go.
Yeah, a minute to go, yeah. Right now. P flag is down.
No, it
Nick,
isn't.
why don't you come?
He's still flying.
You're going to always need to be next to the mic, okay?
Yeah, all good.
I mean closer.
Yep.
There we go.
I think we still have a P flag flying. Looks like it to me.
It's a long way to the end of that line.
I've got pretty good eyeballs. This is coming up to the 1 minute, guys.
Yeah.
That's 1 minute to go here at the J70 World Championships. The second World Championships for the J70 class and the second race for this regatta. If you've just joined us, we've had a tricky day out here with a few technical issues, but we will be now covering this start. We've got a few bows that are very advanced right now. Bow 14 and bow 52, bow 40, I'd be keeping an eye on them, and bow 60 from the Netherlands. They're over actually. I can say this may be a general recall unless they're happy to pick this middle pack that is definitely extended on the line. Ooh, it's getting a bit hairy. I think I'd have my heart in my mouth, and some of the boats are trying to reach back to the line, but there's no room there, and here we go. Still over 10 seconds to go, 12 seconds
looks like
to go.
26 is going to be over here.
Entire fleet is well extended on the line. And
This Swiss boat way over, obviously.
3, 2, 1, go. I can see the boat behind the fleet. It's going to be really interesting to see what the call is here. There's the boat. You can see a general recall straight away. And we will see 2 starts for race 2 of the J70 World Championships. Wow. That tide is still pushing them over as well, guys. Just remember that. You can see a little bit of angle on these boats, even against the wind. Building up, as Clean mentioned, to around 12 to 14 knots. We've seen a few big swings today. We started in 270 degrees, a similar angle to this. We saw a big right shift just before the start of race 1, all the way around to 310. And just as race 1 was starting, it did flick back to 270, that gradient direction, and the boats that were at the pin were laughing, essentially. We saw 4 to 5 boats start on pin across the entire fleet. And that was almost race done, except for a few shifts down the run, which allowed some luffing duels between a few of the Americans. The GBR boats got in there as well. And yeah, some great action though here with 77 boats, 16 nations. Make sure you stay posted. We won't be catching all of the work action, but we'll be catching the critical points, the bottom mark roundings, the start, the finish, and that's where all the highlights are that we can bring to you. That's for sure. And after race 1, we have Atkins leading the way in front of Fernandez from Mexico with Hardesty on board. In 3rd place we had Alberni and Bowen, but they did have an issue at that bottom mark. Tim Healy from the US, and then 2 more US boats, Heather Gregg, Brian Keane from Germany, Klaus Lehmann. In 9th position we saw Simon Ling from the Air Force, and then Domani from. So that's our top 10 at the moment as we start race 2. They'll be getting into this sequence as soon as possible. Just going to reset my own watch, and that's the drop of the General, the first substitute. Actually, we're into the 5 now. I can see the class flag up there. I must have missed the drop of the General. Apologies for that. These guys will be regrouping, rechecking their transits if they're able to get one. It's a very long line. Makes it exceptionally challenging. No signal boat in the middle, so no way to peg where you are in the middle of the line.
Yep.
So these guys are doing a lot of homework. All the good guys are, at least. From what I can see, it's a little bit pin favoured right now. Might have something to do with it swinging back into that 270 and building. More breeze than we thought today. But against the tide is starting to soften, so the waves are starting to die down a little bit, but they're still short, sharp and choppy, which is really tough upwind for boats that are running at the speeds that these guys are. Downwind though, some good rides, and we did see some good rides coming into the finish. So we're coming into 4 minutes now. It's 4 minutes to the second start for race 2 here at the J70. We're straight to a on race 2. Black flag start. Has it? Yes. We're going to see a black flag start for every single race. You've got to be pushing this line when the boats are all so similar in speed. And we saw there that pack of boats just a third of the way down from the pin. One boat popped, the next boat pops, and they all just go because being behind off the start line is death. Though getting a black flag is also not ideal, but you know, if you can be in the middle of that pack that pushes forward, sorry race committee if you're listening, that's not a bad thing. I didn't say that. But start between the bow of the boat to leeward and the bow of the boat above you. Thank you, Victor Kovalenko. You can see here we're coming into 2:30 to go, halfway through this start sequence. Oh, I wish I was sailing. If you guys wish you were sailing, make sure you live vicariously with us right here. The same thing. Frederick's doing a great job to reposition this boat. Wasn't that an awesome view down the start line for the last start? So good. Love it. I wish I'd taken a photo actually. Hopefully somebody else did. Love my memories. Tiger boat. France going fast. Seen them yet? You have your whole team dressed in them during a World Championship. Thank you, virtualregatta.com. Ah, so good. And we've got 140 to go here, guys. Big pack of boats down towards the boat end. Interesting. I'd say they're actually lining up. Most of these boats will come in for a port approach, tack below the pack, and then come back towards this pin end. It is a little bit pin favoured, as we saw from the last start, all pushing each other.
Can I ask you to send their top 5 for the last race?
Certainly.
Get it on the
no problems at all.
Feed. Did he go black flag?
Send through, yeah, we're on a black flag. We're going to send through the top 5 to our trusty awesomeness home base.
I'll tell you what, black flag really changes the nature of a regatta, doesn't it? And it's funny because we're so. You see the differences in different race committees, but it's like it's the last resort in the States for sure. You know, they'll try and get 1 or 2, and then they'll try with the Z flag and then the I flag, and they'll try and do as much as they can to avoid the black because it's such a big penalty know.
Yeah.
But
I
at the
think
same
that's
time, look at the manners here. How much time we got left, Frederick?
Oh,
As compared to,
yeah, definitely.
I mean, it's completely different nature. We're looking right along the line here.
I can
and
tell
see
you that some of these guys are going to be close.
Well,
I
and
can
you
tell you
can see
right
the
now.
GBR 282 there is really pushing it, and they might be kind of in a bad position there. I don't know who's just a lure of
I
them.
would call them over already, actually, and we still got seconds to go.
GBR,
That's what some numbers up. Yesterday.
early got to just. We've got boats going back.
There's it's all done unless they know that they were over. Let's just wait and see if there's a general.
8 boats being catched.
What is that?
8 boats being catched by the race committee.
So
Oh, wow.
8 boats have been caught by the race committee with a black flag. So I don't like. Can you see any major ones?
We'll wait and hear some numbers.
We're looking.
There's a lot that are bailing, so I'm guessing that we are on a first substitute with a general recall here. You can see the majority of the fleet is starting to peel.
So it looks like general recall is the call, and 8 boats black flag.
We will keep you posted as soon as we hear the numbers over the radio. I'm sure Frederick will translate for us. And in the meantime, I'm going to send through the top 5 to our trusty home base so she can make sure that you guys have all got a visual on that as well. But wow. Yeah, I know they've called 8 boats over, but I'm telling you now there were more than 8 boats over. There's some of those guys that were in the midst of that pack are very, very lucky. Oh, love it, love it, love it, love it.
On voit maintenant là.
Numbers coming through. Point at a boat.
Ok, alors je vais vous noter 282,
282,
103,
203,
146,
146,
839,
839,
725,
725,
475,
775,
669, 50.
and 670.
English, please.
I missed a couple in there.
That's all right.
But there you go. So 9 boats. I think they'll do it English now.
How many people knew Alan Block could speak French? Alright, so 8:39 I did call. That's the boat that came 4th in the last race. They'll be very disappointed. I believe they were less extended than others, but as I mentioned, sometimes it's worse to be the boat at the back of the pack. You're actually easier to pick.
Heads up this guy, Fred.
Again, in English, please.
In English, please. So folks, they're reading off the numbers in French. The French boats aren't even the biggest contingency here, the biggest number of racers here, so it takes a little while, but somebody finally asked.
390.
They've got numbers up on the board, I think. They added one that we didn't get, which was 130, I think. 130. But this race committee needs to, you know, they got to, if you're going to have an international regatta with more entrants from the UK than France, you got to read in English first, don't you? What do you think, Fred?
Look on the boat, that's what they want. They don't want the,
You know what I mean.
I hope you like my hand.
In this modern day, it's all about communication. It's all about, you know, it's not about look at the flag as you go by anymore. Like, we're all trying to have fun together, I think. And, you know, hopefully the race committee will take a little bit of criticism, and if they're going to read them in French, they better read them in English too, so everyone has a fair chance out here. But well, I don't know what the guys do who get the black flag though. Do they go, I mean, what do you go have lunch? Do you anchor? What do you got to bring an anchor on these boats. You might as well go anchor and go swimming. Go fishing for some merlon. What other fish do they have here, Fred?
well, you can get some bars,
Some bar. That's like it has
the nicest one, you know?
with the teeth,
Yeah,
big teeth.
yeah.
It's like a Spanish mackerel, I think, is a bar.
Yeah, and the mackerel is one of
And
the
mackerel?
most common one you can find.
Yeah, you see the schools of mackerel roll by through here in the summer, and all the French fishermen run out and chase them down, and it's an unbelievable place for seafood. It is so good. I mean, even you go to the most normal grocery store and they have fish you've never seen or heard of, and everything fresh and perfect. And if you like seafood, this is a good place. Although, strangely enough, La Rochelle, which is like the major port for a lot of the agriculture in France, so they've got spectacular steak and vegetables and everything too. It's really a wonderful place to hang out. Doesn't get the press from the sailing world as its big brothers do up in Les Sables d'Olonne or Saint-Malo or Concarneau or any of these places, because they don't have the big races. You know, they had that Velux race, but that was a dud. And La Rochelle hasn't really had a big one in a long time. There's no Tour de France stop here, I don't think. Tour de France à la voile stop here. With the new format Tour de France à la voile. So La Rochelle is trying to, I think, cement itself again as a regatta destination, as it was for a long time. In maybe I'd say a decade ago, and you know, in sort of Olympic days. And the match race center here, but you know, the match race boats are looking tired. It's definitely, they'd like to reinvent themselves a little bit, and maybe now is the time. What was the Worlds they had this year, a few weeks ago here?
The Dragon.
The Dragon, that's right. They had Worlds here, and how many boats do you know?
Same number, 80.
80 boats.
Yeah.
80 boats.
Yeah.
80 dragons. Unreal. Unreal. They don't even exist in the States anymore. We have the Etchels though, which is basically like a pointy dragon with a better keel. More or less. It's a slightly less slow dragon, right?
A lot of people that sail Etchels sail dragons as well.
Well, they sort of
have
say, I mean, they're pretty similar. It's got a longer keel, but they're both just dog slow, and people love them, you know? You point at the mark downwind, you point almost at the mark up. And, yeah. That's our story. I don't know what else we got to show. And tomorrow we'll have a bunch of interviews to show you, and we'll have a bunch of stuff to fill this with, but for the most part we're just going to yap and make Gracie stand there holding the camera. You can sit if you want, Grace. And you know what I want to fix? Were you able to get that out?
Yeah, all good. Sent the top 5 to Meredith. Hi, Meredith.
And hi to everyone watching. One other quick thing that you may not know about, get on facebook.com/sailinganarchy and check out the pictures coming in off of Saunders' camera, one of the few in the world, along with lovely Mare, that can get these high-res online edited during the middle of a race. It's really cool. And go and tag them if you know the boys and girls. And I know a lot of you watching. I know I've raced against you. I know you know all these guys out here, or certainly all the Americans. So get in there and tag them. And if you see the ones that are funny, then make fun of them. And you know, make sure all their friends and family see you making fun of them. It's great stuff. Nick, what I want to hear from you is tell us about what you've been doing for the past. Just give us a last, what, month and a half?
Yeah, I've been in Europe for a month. Absolutely. I think it was great to have a chat with Ian Walker and also Sam Davies and Annie Lush of SCA. Ian Walker, the Abu Dhabi guys had almost sealed the deal. They just had to go through the motions. So that was awesome. And then I headed to Concarneau for the stopover of the Figaro, which was great. Straight up to Weymouth on a ferry from Caen to Portsmouth.
Tell us, Nick, talk about what because it's funny, Lorient, there was you know, there wasn't actually, the number of boat spectators was quite low.
Yes,
I talked to the gendarmerie and maybe 250 boats. And that's a super small number for a boat. But the crowds on land were incredible. Tell me about that.
The crowds were absolutely massive. I sort of had to hide in the media center a little bit, and it was interesting because when the boats arrived, it was just mayhem. And I thought that was what we were going to see. They sort of disappeared and hibernated. But then when the boats were getting ready, everybody just seemed to, I don't know, migrate. It seemed, especially from this northwestern part of France. I know a stack of people from La Rochelle came, but the French really, really grabbed a hold of it, and it was interesting. I think a lot of people thought that Lorient would be one of the stopovers that didn't have as much interaction, but I got to tell you, it was like a rock concert. It was like a stadium, and you couldn't go anywhere. Incredible, and especially if you can jump on the Volvo Ocean Race Facebook page. I know that some of the aerial shots that they got of the crowd were absolutely incredible. But yeah, it was interesting to head from there to the Figaro. It's a much smaller race, but there was still a crowd waiting for these boats for the single-handers to come into Concarneau, and I was actually amazed at how much the French culture really, they sort of grab onto sailing, which is great to see. But yeah, from there I jumped on the ferry in Cannes and went up to Portsmouth and went over to Weymouth for the gold medal race day. That was brilliant. Managed to catch up with a few people there. Pete Burling and Blair Tuke won the 49ers. I also chatted with Hannah Mills and who won the 470s with her fantastic crew. Tidy, yeah, Tidy. I love her last name, it's awesome. But it was great to catch up with those guys, and then I also chatted with McNay, who's just had a baby. Congratulations!
Congratulations, Stewie.
And won the Europeans as well, so they're on such a roll. Stewie and
you know what? The U.S. Olympic team has desperately needed it. Desperately needed it.
So big congrats to them. I spoke to them in Weymouth, and then I know they've just had a really good run, which is great to see. I also spoke to Marit Braumeister. She's sailing the Radial, and she's
one of our all-time favorites. Such a beautiful girl, so
such
sweet,
a dominating
such a good
force
athlete.
in the laser as well. She's so humble as well. It's interesting when you talk to her because you're like, oh, you know, you dominated here. She's like, oh, did I? Yeah, you did. You really did. But
and you're beautiful,
lovely.
and you're young, and you're lovely, and you're smart.
Exactly. And then Jason Waterhouse and Lisa Dummett, and my favourites there, Aussies. I actually helped them put their bow stickers on that day, and we had a bit of a joke about it in that interview, but they ended up winning gold. They basically had to finish in the top 5, I think, in that medal race to secure gold, and that's their first win at a major. So that was, really awesome
I may be mistaken, but I think that Stu McNay may have called tactics. His regular boat is Shavasana.
Yeah.
He may have called tactics that he didn't do Worlds because he was busy with Olympic stuff. I don't think he did QS, but he did North Americans. I raced against him, and I believe they won against like a 90-boat fleet. And Stu is unconscious on these boats. He's so good at these boats, which is sort of, you know, the guys that do great on these boats are not necessarily the best sport boat guys. It's Tim Healy, who's a J22 guy. He's a
Well, they just had a good result there.
It's Stewie, who's a 470 guy. You know, you don't see in general the Novus guys and the you know, the real apparent wind guys, because these boats are not apparent wind machines.
That's what I was going to say. I think because they're really close and their speed differential is so low, I think that tactics is going to be so important. So things like the 470 and
Edgels
and the J22 and Edgels, see them cross over a lot better into this class, and that's really why Hardesty had a good first one. I mean,
I'm super sad that I didn't see Tim Healy coming down with, because we've all tried that, and it's like this super almost by the lead. Only a few guys can do it. Healy did it and passed 5 boats on that run.
Yeah,
I think the breeze is too high now. I think it pays to plane now.
Really interesting.
You know,
Yeah, I love
5-3 would be our target. Be close to the wind.
Yeah.
And you know, downwind probably sort of 10 to 13 knots on a wave in this stuff, maybe.
I'm a one design girl, like primarily Edgels, Tasers. I loved the Volvo this year because it was one design, and that's my thing. Whether they're cats or monohulls, I like one design, and that to me is what real racing is about. And this is intense. I'm getting nervous and anxious on the boat because you can see how close the racing is. You don't get that in fleets.
And you don't get it in the really fast fleets. You don't
that's
get
what I mean. You don't get the condensed.
You know what happens? I think what happens in boats that are higher performance, I think, and again, this is part of the genius of J-boat.
Yeah.
Is that the back of the fleet was to get
the new goes down the tube.
other way, which is the good a boat, and then selling it, getting into the used market, buying
that last boat. You don't make, you know,
having battles with the sea. Speed and tactics.
when you this to go.
But we'll
There was one is a
you'll see this this that's the new through. It's all boat goes first shell. Ship. 7 meters, so 10.5 meters is 770 plus whatever that half comes in. That's so 800 odd meters for the line. That sound about right? So just short of a kilometer for the line. And I don't care how good your vision is and how many binoculars you got, it's not going to be easy to spot those boats. And now because of that, we're out here floating around and waiting. And it's a, you know, I guarantee you next year the Worlds is in America and San Francisco, I think. Then it comes back here, probably to France or to Spain, and you're gonna have 100 plus boats on the line, no question. So I love it when they don't split the fleets. I think it's great when they don't split the fleets, but if you do that, you just have to have a midline boat. Because these guys are all pushing it, and the big difference in these days from the old days is everyone's got a Velocitech Pro Start or a, you know, some kind or a rock box or some kind of a GPS unit that tells you exactly where you are, so you don't have all that midline sag that you used to have in these fleets. Because these guys have learned to trust their GPS, and that makes a big difference.
And a massive thanks to Meredith. She just sent me a picture that Sandra took of the blackboard. So we will have all of the updated numbers. So Sandra has taken a picture on his SLR, which has gone back to America to Meredith, and then Meredith has skyped it to me. This is technology for you. I will tell you now, Black Flag, we have 831 707 765 557 394 127 713 750 867 282-803-146-839-725-475-669-650 and 130. That's 19 Black Flags total, people.
Wow! That's a quarter of the fleet! So a quarter of the fleet are not racing this next race.
Oh dear.
Wow.
Sorry guys, I don't mean to laugh at you. I feel for you, I really do. Holy moly. That's nuts.
Okay, 280 you come back to me, you come back to me, 28.
And folks, if you are just joining us and this isn't the best thing in the world yet, just hang on, because I guarantee you it's going to get interesting. And tomorrow we should be able to broadcast in 720 HD, and we should have some nice commentary without all the wind noise. But at the moment you get to experience what it's really like to cover a world championship from the boat with a ragtag, fugitive band of mercenaries from around the world on the Perpetual Bloop Show production. On the Water Anarchy, J70 World, Sperry. And again, without Sperry, which is the best nautical footwear company we know of, without them, we're not here. And we couldn't cover a lot of the things we covered this year. The Volvo stopover in Gothenburg, with those great talk shows and dock walks, the Moth Worlds, Charleston Race Week. We couldn't cover any of this stuff like we're doing without Sperry's help. So think of them the next time you are going to buy some shoes for your crew or your spouse. And we will get some more racing for you in just a moment.
And they're going to keep play with the Black Flags.
Pretty easier to call.
Flags, not ideal. Size.
You want to take a break? No, you're good. Okay.
Grace is champ. She just
Let's get it. Lou. The Black Flag DSQ, which is we've got a little bit of time.
Yeah.
So the biggest problem is that we've got a little bit of current moving from right to left on your screen. That's pushing them over the start line. But like in general, this fleet is a super aggressive fleet. You've got some of the best sailors in the world in this fleet. You've got Branko Brichin on the Calvi network. You've got Bill Hardesty on the Flojos and Cooprandos. You've got you've got superstars here, some of the best French sailors, and they push and push and push and push. And when one guy pushes, the other 20 guys to windward of him have to go over the line, and that's what's happening with maybe 3/4 of a knot of current pushing these guys over. So it's a shame, because with 20 boats, you're guaranteed to have a few top boats with Black Flags, and it's a different regatta now for them, and they have to manage their fleet completely differently with all the races left to go except for one. So anyway, Mike, thank you very much for your questions, and folks, please keep asking questions on YouTube, or you can send them via Twitter, and I'll start looking at my Twitter account, or you can send them to Nick.
You can send them to me.
What's your Twitter?
Nick_Douglas.
Okay, at Nick, NIC_Douglas, DOUGLASS.
That's me.
So send Nick your questions, and we'll get them answered on the air.
Yeah.
And you can ask us if you want us to cover a specific boat. We'll go cover a specific boat. We don't care. We're just out here with some wine and some cheese, you know. That'll be tomorrow, hopefully.
Where's the wine and cheese?
Well, we weren't supposed to have 15 knots and 2.5 foot waves, but I guarantee you we're going to have a wine and cheese day out here. And folks, you may not see a lot of racing on that day, but you will see some lovely French cheese.
Do you mean French cheese or French chicks?
Well, we're working on them. There was some beautiful Manon at the Plow Bar last night. We invited her out. She's a sailor. We'll try and get her out here on Sunday. Frederica is nodding in agreement.
Yes, oui.
But yeah, we're down in the Porte de Minime, right?
Yeah,
What does that mean? Is that a name? Or?
Porte de
2:10 to
Minime.
go.
Yeah,
It's a door for Minime. No, it's the name of the area.
of the area. Okay.
Yeah.
So the port of Minime, which is the area, it's sort of the old port. You know, La Rochelle is a sprawling metropolis that encircles a beautiful bay and harbor and all these little nooks. But it just goes on and on and on. You've got this massive island called Ile de Ré, not too far off. The island of the king. No? What is Ile de Ré?
No, not Ré. Roi is king.
Roi.
Ré, I mean, it's also a name of
It's also
area.
it's a name of an area. Okay, I figured maybe it was some connection to king because in Spanish, Ré is king. But no, here it's just this gorgeous old island. It's so beautiful. France is just one of these places where you get to hang out on shore and just be part of the nautical heritage. And they love their sailing. La Rochelle has, I think, the biggest marina in all of Europe. Like 8,000 slips or something like that. Something insane. And when you're standing there, it's like literally a forest.
I believe it's 5,011 moored boats.
5,011 boats. Wow.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive. There may be a bigger one on the Algarve now, but
Yeah.
it's only about half full.
Plus the dinghies, but then you've got the slips on top of that. So
Yeah.
it's 5,011 plus whatever, plus the dinghies
So,
and all the boats that they have on the grass. We have, we're coming into 40 seconds to go. Oh no, we're still in the minute. We've got 1:40 to go. We've still got the drop of the general that time.
140 go till the sequence.
Till the go-go.
Oh, till the start.
Yes.
So have a look. Have a look here, guys. So take a look. That is boats.com. Ian Atkins, they got caught in that first race. So the winner of race, or in that first black flag. So the winner of the first race is out for the next race. So it's a huge deal. I mean, I can't underestimate this, how it is. And I'm going to be interested in talking to some of the pros because I know they're going to be pretty unhappy. But look, you know, every race officer does it in a different way, and that's how they do it here in France. And you know, don't push the line.
You know how you were saying that people need to protest on day one? I guess the race committee is saying on day one, we don't want you to be over.
Yeah. And here we've got a Brazilian boat. What's this one?
Location Sport.
Oh no, what's this one? Look it up, because that's
50 Brazilian, I will tell you.
We are inside a minute to the start. Let's just pan to the line here.
Mauricio.
So that's Mauricio Santa Cruz, 3-time J24 world champion. That's Bruschetta, and he is black flag. I mean, unless he's going for a port tag, no, he's black flag. So you've got the leading Brazilian boat and the leading British boat both out on the black flag. This is huge. And folks, you can see no one on the port end of the line right now. It is super stacked up on the boat end. Not sure exactly why.
4,
Maybe we're in a righty. Yeah, we are in a righty.
2, 1, going, clear start.
So here's a start, definitely all clear for the first time, and we can start moving up here. And we're gonna go roll with the fleet. Italy 106 is at the pin. Who's that, Nick?
Italy 106. We're having a look.
And we're gonna roll up with the fleet here, and if you need to come back for dryness. Matteo Defino is the Italian boat, so they won the pin at the start. The wind was pretty heavily right phase there, and I think the race committee, rather than resetting, just wanted to get one off. So they started with a heavily biased line on the boat, and
Cunningham's next to winning.
who's that?
Jim Cunningham.
Jim Cunningham on lifted. Spectacular laser sailor. Cunningham sails Stars as well, Etchells, and probably the top Corinthian boat from the States, maybe. Well, I think Heather Gregg Earl on Muse might also be Corinthian. About half the fleet, I believe, is Corinthian, which means no pros on the boat at all, which is a really nice mix. and it's a serious battle for Corinthian. I sailed in the Corinthian class for 3 events, and it is a full-on battle with great sailors in it. Like I said, Jim Cunningham is a world-class sailor. If he wasn't a financial guy, he'd be a pro racer, and he'd be a good one. So we are watching from the port hand of the line on the first beat here. And Matteo Defino, I think, out here on the far left. The wind has come back a tiny bit to the left, but not much. And at the moment, the right side is definitely the strong side.
And you can see here as the boats are coming over these swells, it's a swell mixed with an outgoing tide chop that's left over from this morning, that big rip out tide. And some of these boats are, you know, it's just getting over each little wave. So when they're so similar in speed, taking each wave at a time is so important. You can see here already, not just because of dirty air, you've got a few boats that are lagging behind, even with this port end not so biased.
Looking good here. These boats will sail in this breeze, maybe 38, 40 to the wind. And you really got to work them over the waves. They've got short keels. They don't have tons of you know, of high aspect lift, so you got to really work the boat. You can really bring the bow up pretty high and work over the waves, but then you got to bring the boat right back down on the back side of the wave. And the guys who are going to do well at it, which is coincidentally maybe his laser guys, are unbelievable at sailing this boat upwind.
Yeah, it looks really nice. I was just going to say bow 7 is extended. Bow 7 is extended forward on bow 30 here. I mean, 30's come up to them a little bit, but if that was bow 30, I'd be looking to punch out, get a little bit more depth, and make sure I can keep my lane below Cunningham there. He's subbed really nicely, got a really nice groove. You can see to windward though, USA 94, bow number 1. They're looking really nice on that right-hand side of the course. Well to windward bow number 1. So there's definitely some gauge there, and that boat end was the way to start. All the way through, you can see the Brits on board the Air Force boat. I think that's Tim. Just let me check that one. I think that they are Tim Healy, Simon Ling, actually from GBR. He's also in a really nice spot. I think everyone should have really big symbols on their sails so that I can tell. I even said this at the mothballs. As sailing moves more towards broadcast mode, I think we're going to see more and more patterns on the sails. The America's Cup have worked it out. The M32s have worked it out. Same with you know, the Extremes, the Ace, all these classes that have a lot of commentary, like the live TV, make it a lot easier for us to call where they are. Again, that bow number 1 is in a really good spot. I would not be surprised that if this does not flick left in that top third, and we see a few of the boats in this middle centre pop out and be in the first bunch around the top mark. USA 49 is 61. I'm just going to do a little bit of a check. USA, we've got USA 94 is coming there. It must be USA 96, Brian Keane. So he also had a good one in the last race. So 96 is bow 1, yes, it's Brian Keane. He had finished 7th in the first race. He could have been looking at being a top contender given the amount of others who have had black flags. And just to leeward of him, USA 49 is Peter Duncan, Thomas Blakewell, and Judd Smith. That's his Enjoy Sails. Judd Smith is on board with Peter Duncan. So I'm going to watch those two with interest. We will see the pack come back from the right, but they're definitely the leaders out on the left-hand side of the course right now. Building pressure as we approach this top third. I really would love a top mark call. We're not actually far off lay now out on this side. I think what we'll do is let these boats go up and round the top and probably wait out on this starboard lay line.
I just sent the link to Jeff.
Here we go, Judd Smith, Peter Duncan tacking over now. A little bit of a tickle of left there. We've also seen Brian Keane has tacked and let them out of the bag as well. So Just trying to see the black sail numbers down to leeward of them. I do think that you'll find that these guys are in that leading bunch. The boats on the right are well extended, but I think we're going to find the pressure comes from this top third. Really, really dark cloud here. Waiting to see if we get any rain from it. Might have helped with that first right. You see 311's now also flopped. 94's now flopping too. That's Cunningham. Really good position now that we're leveraging on the left-hand side. Sailing's such an interesting game. It works on a pivot point. Course. And these boats out on the left are just left of centre really, so still biased to the starboard side based on the original ring. And this and maybe some overlaid graphics, GPS, just to confirm my thinkings. That would be ideal. I need a bit more budget. We might lose touch with them. We might lose touch with them a little bit here, guys. Given that we've got a bit of distance, but I'm going to keep eyeballs on that top three. We'll see where they are at the top. We do have 4 boats well out on the right. I think they will meet with this pack. Really nice to see a clear start. Don't want any more black flags, really. Oh, I'm sorry, I just spotted this name. It's awesome. Struth. That's an Aussie name right there. Struth. Sorry. If any Aussies that are listening, they'll get my bad pun. Continue. Brian Keane. Jim Cunningham. And Peter Duncan.
See, we had to the top part. Good? Clear to go to the top part. Yeah.
That we were following just before. You can see Ling, Cunningham, Keane, and also Duncan in this little pack coming across the middle left. We do have a pack down on the right. I do think this is going to be the leading pack. Cruising in style. See how good my eyes are. This bunch comes out of the right. I'm wondering if there's also a little bit of land effect over there and more tide as well, as we've mentioned, that tide coming out of the river on the right hand side. So we're looking towards slack time on my beautiful rod stand. Please start watch. Thank you, Alison Murray. I actually got the correct time for once in my life. It's 4:05, so that tide starts to change at about 4:45. Not too much tidal effect now. These waves are far more forgiving than they were in the first race. Alan Block, who's just behind me, supervising as we approach the top mark. Meredith at home, making sure everything works. Racy behind the camera with Jack down below, both with red-handed TV. And then out in the midst of the action, Sander Vanderbosch and Winnie Crawford. Plenty of photos being uploaded to Facebook as we speak. Doing some fantastic highlights reels daily. I encourage you to go and have a look at the preview that he put together last night. It's absolutely awesome. Myself, Nick Douglas, Sailor Girl. I'm only here for the talking and the food. Beautiful. That pack from the left are crossing those that are on starboard tack coming back. So we have Ling, Cunningham, a few have come behind, so definitely had to pick your time to come across from. I believe I can see a Ellie Hansen sail down there as well. Ellie Hansen, my and a good one in the last race. Tim Healy. USA Fair. Thank you. That was a cat. Guys, my phone nearly went overboard. My phone nearly went overboard. That would have been the end of the day. No. Thank you so much. Now this is quite a long work. They've extended the course from the last race. It was 1.5 nautical miles and that was set at 310 as I mentioned, but now they've reset the course to 270 and we're looking at about 1.8 nautical miles each, so it's quite large. I'm aiming for 70-minute races, 2 laps. Anything can happen in 1.8 nautical miles, especially when you've got some exceptionally good sailors in the fleet, always working their boats harder and harder. Time goes on, woohoo! Thank you for saving my phone. Party at the top mark. My favourite bit, the set. I'm still about 2 minutes away from being in touch with these guys.
Hey Jack, what's that font called?
Well, I've been using.
So Frederick,
Yeah.
what do you think about the racing today? You enjoying it?
Yeah, that's cool. And that's going well.
Yeah.
It's very nice to see the boat going so well and so no, but even with the big shift we had on the first race, not
Yeah.
so much difference between the first one and the latest one.
Exactly.
It would have been a lot worse.
I think you can find that the good sailors often float to the top anyway.
Yeah, anyway, even with a tricky start, with
Exactly.
the top sailor in front of the fleet.
They're the ones that take advantage of it. So.
Yeah.
And how does it feel to have the regatta actually underway, given that you've been doing so much work to get it all happening?
That's a bit you know, being passed on the fun part of the event, you know. The tough thing is behind now.
Yeah.
It's just being fun.
And now you get to come out of the water with us.
Yeah, that's good.
Absolutely awesome. Frederick has been doing a lot of work behind the scenes and he knows these boats a little bit. How well do you know these boats? Just a little bit?
A little bit, yeah.
Little bit? La
Yeah.
Pale? Petite?
Like this.
Yeah. He's done a lot of work and they did put together 839 not yesterday, day before. Was it not yesterday, day before you put 839 together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A few days before.
A few days,
and
just a few days.
9 charter boats.
9 charter boats.
top US team, Chilean team, and everything.
Absolutely incredible.
And now I think we are over with the grey sky. Sun is coming till the end of the event.
Yay!
That should be the right time.
That sounds good. Got some visitors. Here comes Pitty and Sander. They're also getting in on the action. Looks like they came up around the right hand side, we came up around the left. Covering all bases. See Sander's lens from here.
Where do you prefer to be for the... you prefer to be in the alignment of the offset?
Yeah, well, just so I can, even here is good, just so we can see the sound numbers as they come across, and then we can see the set.
Okay.
And then we might follow them down around the outside. Yeah, perfect. Directing.
So obviously the closer you can be, the better.
Yeah.
I moved further.
We're heading in now, folks. I'll give you a bit of a call around the top mark.
Ixwal.
Yes.
Ixwal sales. Excellent. We got a great bunch of sail makers here. A lot of one sails, a lot of North, some Incidents, some Ixwal.
Really nice.
We've got some. We've got Quantum that reach around running Quantums and doing a nice job.
Because we are French and we are quite, we like joke, you know, it's fun to put an X-Voile on a J-boat.
Ouais. Big ocean racing sail company, right?
No, not that, but it's typical local.
So the boats that came up the left-hand side of this track they are struggling.
Let's
Well,
spin.
the ones that came earlier have done better, but we're about to meet this right and left pack together. You can see here,
It's okay.
Ling is in a good position. He was that one that I was watching from the left-hand side, so you can see him coming in nice and tight. Our heli.
We're doing love.
Since the left-hand side, we've been keep where
Maybe in the.
that's the French boat, I believe.
No, it looks like he's gonna cross. Is he gonna cross? He is.
Ducking.
Oh, he's going for the duck. Okay, so that was a close duck for sure. So Ling, what's his first name?
Is it Simon?
Simon Ling in first place, maybe in first place. We'll see. I mean, he had to duck there, and Calvi just coming across.
This is the Tiger boat, yeah? 72?
Is 72 the Tigers?
it's the
I think it
Tigers.
might be. That might be Pierre Le Guen. Is it Le Guen?
Which one?
The virtual
Look at
regatta guy?
Look at
Yeah.
the starboard ley line, guys.
Yeah,
It's
he's there,
absolutely
there.
It
shocking.
is. It's Pierre Le Guen. The Tiger, the virtual regatta boat. Big duck right there on the Calvi. Nick, watch your head. You're in the way.
Sorry.
Big duck there on the Calvi, and now he's going to roll into it. Is he going to have enough there to make it? Oh, this is a tight lay. Like if you look at that, that was cheeky. But he found a little spot. Nice job from Pierre or Philippe. Sorry.
We have Fernandez.
Wow, that is a. Look at that. Oh, some contact.
Bow and says stuff.
Oh yeah. Now I could hear Bill Hardesty yelling from here. So that is Julian Fernandez with Bill Hardesty and the Creature.
Macca, the lone Aussie boat in second.
Where's
Yellow
Macca? So
seven.
Steve McConaughey
He's in third.
from McConaughey Boat Works. Now, I don't know what that means for the future of the class, but to me it means something. Got a nice little construction facility over there in China. So Julian Fernandez coming around in first.
Let's see if this Italian boat wants
This thing, Steve. It's definitely the most top 20. About 7 American boats in that top 20. That sort of makes sense right now. Look at the German boat, just barely holding it together there, but a nice catch. Just stay here with these lead guys with this German 797.
What's really interesting is that USA 839 is actually racing. From everything
After getting a black flag.
That they've gotten a black flag, so they need to be really careful here.
Because they could get
result in a do not discard.
Yeah, right.
So,
the only thing worse than a black flag is a black flag do not discard.
Yeah,
but that is technically interfering if they didn't check the board. And we don't know for sure, but if they were indeed over early, the board might be up on Sailing Anarchy Facebook page as well.
I believe it is. I've got it on my phone, and I have double checked. They've got a black flag, and I called them over, and they.
Do you know who that is? Which boat?
Yeah, it's our mate.
Oh boy. Likely has a black flag that is still racing. That's a problem. And almost nobody has jibed out here. Just a few boats. We got the Rocad Boys Sweden 601 jibed out, but just an ugly.
Go down.
Yeah, let's go. Let's run around the side here.
But I can tell you guys, around the top mark, we did have Mexico 3 and Cordes Fernandez with Hardesty on board. In second, we'll call
Yeah, you're good actually. Wherever you want to be.
In second, we'll call the Australian Steve McConaughey 007 because the Italian 456, they did actually do a turn that time, so it is only a 360. Then in fourth, USA 94 was Cunningham, who we watched all the way off the line at that pin end of the line, and we did think that they might do well out of USA 49, then GBR 123 and USA 2, which is our Helly Hansen mates, then USA 96, GBR 259, and then USA 839, which made me go, hang on a minute. I'm just going to double check that picture that was sent through from Sander now, but I'm pretty sure he was on the list. So very interesting.
Much more manageable fleet with only 60 odd boats out here, but still plenty of tight action. This race 1.5 mile legs, 4 of them, 6 miles. It should take about an hour and change, and then there'll be one more for the day, and that will be generally what the race committee goes for. You can see it, but what that says right there at the bottom is 839. That is reach around. They came around the mark there in 5th place. So they were black flagged and they are racing. Now, I guess they could argue that they weren't really over the line and they're going to go for redress and all that. That's beyond my pay grade. That's why that guy gets a lot of money per day, because he goes and argues. I guess
You shouldn't race though, because that leaves you liable for a D&D if you lose the protest. You're actually better off protesting the fact that you got a black flag off the race course and then getting redress of average points. That's the smart way to do it, including the race course. So I don't think I would play it the way that they played it.
We'll be sure to talk to Tom Bowen or Marty Coleman after the day and find out what was in their minds. But I really do anticipate a lot of redress hearings tonight. A lot. It's over early might very
The back of the after that second the leading racing, and I'd be because if they very visible at the
would guess probably 5.5 would probably be average points for the winner. What do you think? What do you think the average position for the winning boat would be? Probably 5, somewhere around 5.5.
Oh yeah.
So you're talking about 60 or 70 points for the regatta for the winner. It would be my guess. So if you're gonna eat a 77 right now that you can't throw out, you're in trouble. Hey Jack, make sure that top mark graphic is off and duplicate it and change the text so it says bottom mark. Just training a new stream producer, Jack Watson. Some of our awesome talent on loan from our lovely friend Sam Usher and the Red Handed TV Bunch, just after they broadcast the final Stena World Match Cup from Sweden, the final one in mono hulls, after a big announcement that will be moving. But we've got some pretty successful mono hulls out here as we head to the bottom market. An absolutely gorgeous afternoon, with the boats lighting up in the contrast with the clouds. It's just perfect conditions here. And now you see why so many people sail in France and why there are 10,000 boats, sailboats on the in the marina over there. That this is what they have all summer long. And in the winter, it's not too bad either, as long as you're not out in the big gales. This is the second leg of the second race of the J70 Worlds. And the reason it's lumpy like it is that you see is a little bit of tide against the wind here. The wind is northwesterly. Forecast for the rest of the week is maybe a little bit more westerly tomorrow and then switching around to the northeast, which could play havoc with this fleet. So we've got 3 full days of racing coming at you after this one. All live, all courtesy of Sailing Anarchy and Sperry, with help from J Composites and J Boats. Be sure to head over to their Facebook pages and like them and post something. Tell them thank you for helping Sailing Anarchy cover the worlds. I think they'd appreciate it. Give us more money next time to do even better things. Next year, San Francisco. And folks, if you're thinking about getting a J70 and you're in Europe, maybe hold off a year, because San Francisco is not a world that maybe you want to go, maybe not. But it's time to get ready for what will be a massive Worlds in Porto Cervo at the Yacht Club Costa Smeralda in Sardinia in 2017. That is going to be a special one. And I've already been told that they said, my Italian friend said, Alan, you remember when the Melges 24 has 135 boats in the Costa Smeralda? I think that is small. So maybe it's going to be something really cool. It's hard to ever not have a good day at the Yacht Club Costa Smeralda. And with the Italian economy starting to rebound, it may be something special. So mark your calendars, ladies and gentlemen. And if you need advice on how to do the trip from Zeebrugge, Belgium, where you pick up a boat to the island of Sardinia and then to Oslo, Norway, give me a call or send me a tweet at Sailing Anarchy. I did that one. It was an interesting drive, especially for Americans. You don't want to be pulling boats in Europe if you're not really ready for it. We got stuck under the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and I'm not joking you. With a truck and a Melges 24, we got stuck right next to the Leaning Tower of Pisa for 2 hours. And so it's actually back on.
Welcome back. If you've just joined us, we're here at the first bottom mark for race 2 of the J70 World Championships in beautiful La Rochelle in France, thanks to Sperry and the Sailing Anarchy World Tour with a bunch of other helpers. Really awesome to be here. Just missed the first bottom mark rounding. We had Mexico 384, followed by Australia 007, USA 2, USA 96, France 722, USA 380, GBR 123, Germany 797, and Italy 456, all thereabouts. We were at the starboard hand marker. It was great to see some people taking turns from their top mark roundabouts. But fantastic action. We have a few boats here that are right in the mix and making it difficult for us that have all been black flagged. 19 black flags, and I can confirm that 839 has continued to race even though they were black flagged. They've gone around the bottom mark, so yeah, it's going to be really, really interesting to see what happens with them later on this evening. But this breeze, I think, to me, it feels like it's even building a little bit. Looks like it's in a left phase at the moment, so it's going to all play out well. This gate is very nicely positioned. I have my French baguette. This gate is very nicely positioned. So there's plenty still to play for in this awesome fleet. 77 boats just joined us. We've got one more lap to go. They'll go round that top mark, round the hitch, back to this gate, and then they'll be finishing down at the finish, or hook finish, down near a white mark just past here. That'll make race 2 for the day. Each race we've had a black flag. This start we got away on the 4th start with a clean start after those 19 black flags, but the first start we had 1 black flag. So, you know, it's all to play for. Definitely in a left phase right now. Plenty of breeze. It's really awesome.
I'm turning so that she can shoot them going up. So guys,
sunshine coming out now behind this cloud band, and we're just gonna check in with Clean.
So here, put it on me for a second. So guys, what we're gonna do, since we don't all over the course all day, we're gonna not get every mark rounding. We're gonna get, you know, we'll get a top, we'll get the starts, and we'll get a top or a bottom, and then get the finish, because these scores are not being updated quickly, and I know all you are used to instant results these days. They're not really set up for it, I think. And so we'll make sure that we're at the finish line from now on, actually looking through the finish line. Maybe we'll stay at the bottom mark for the first boats and then just come in with them at the finish and help you guys see who's finishing at home. And George Pete and Chuck Coyer and all you boys back home, all you J70 boys, I know you care a lot. I know there are thousands of you out there who do, so as long as you promise to keep sharing this link on your Facebook page and on Twitter, we'll make sure we get you all the finishes and let you guys do the scoring at home. All right, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna follow the fleet a little bit here, and Nick can still comment on what she sees, and then when Frederick spins the boat a little bit, we can shoot this upwind leg a little bit, but as soon as we see them coming down, we're gonna head to this last bottom marker for the finish, all right? There's my update. Thank you for watching.
Sounds good to me. And for those who are doing the results at home, I'm gonna be doing the results here as well, like this. It's like, you know, just at home, DIY, so we can do them together. It'll be all good. Oh, I just feel so sad for all these boats. We might get Gracie just to do a pan around here, and you can see all the boats that are waiting to go racing because they were unfortunately over at the last start. Not so ideal. But here we are, back to the racing. Just over my shoulder here, you can see plenty of action out there. It's going to be interesting over the next few days just to see, sorry, I was shading the camera, I wasn't showing you my baguette. It's going to be interesting over the next few days to see how much differential there is in between these boats. And we're just going to plug Gracie back in as well so we don't lose power on the camera. There we go. We're all over it. Sunshine and everything. We can see the lead pack out on the right. We've got Healy and also Dominieri, Alberni. They're all out on that right hand side. They like that right hand side the first beat. It looks like they've gone out there for a second time. Whereas the other pack that came out of the left, so Cunningham, as well as Fernandez and also McConaughey, the Tiger boat, they're all out on this left hand side. So a little bit of a split. But on the whole, staying in the middle of the course, always playing these shifts. The breeze is nice and stable now in that 270 range, so we're seeing some real action here. Real racing. looks like there's some great pressure out on that right-hand side though, where we do have Tim Healy, who looks to be well lifted and starboard. He's the furthest right boat.
There's so much weight.
It's going to be difficult for you guys to pick it out due to resolution, but
Single-ended.
my best to let you know what's happening.
1,000, like 400 kilograms worth of shit down there.
While eating my baguette.
Like a cargo. Cargo. Still faster than the J1190 Yeah, you can imagine the little boat. We would have lost $12,000 worth of a year
Definitely a right phase now, and I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see some big gains from the Italian. Did do his circles. You're in a bit of a questionable period now. Is it going to be persistent like it was earlier this morning when it went to the right? Or is it just a phase?
Yeah.
Definite line on the course now on that right hand side. We could see some big changes at this next top
Get a
mark.
hat. Priceless hat.
Any little Mario Kart arrows? Hey Alan,
Yeah, darling.
can you organise me a helicopter for the next one?
Let me look at the budget. Yeah. As an Aussie would say, yeah, man.
Yeah, nah.
Okay, I'm doing turn.
Oh. One day.
So this is about as far as we're going to go up the course, so we'll just turn here and we can watch a little bit of the action from the back of the pack. But, you know, Nick, we talk about sort of that I've been doing this, covering sailboat racing live for like almost 9 years now.
Yeah.
Back when I remember driving around with Meredith covering this Velux 5 Oceans race when Brad Van Loo took his Open 60 and won every leg and crushed a race that was already in its dying stages. But I remember driving around this town with this huge black box made by Ericsson that we took the first 3G SIM cards and we were sticking them in this box and it could talk to 3 different towers at once.
Oh, wow.
And we had, I mean, there were plugs all over, the car was wired more than this is wired, and that's what it took to broadcast sailing. Now, as you've seen, we're having a little bit of issues here in France, but in general, in the first world, it's easy now. And whether you're doing it with what's it called, Periscope, from the deck of the Volvo Ocean Race boat because you're a guest on it like we've seen for the past few months, or whether you're doing it like this with a setup with a single camera hooked up to a computer and using Wirecast or Livestream or one of these solutions, it's very doable now, and anyone can do it. Now, not everyone can actually do the talking and do the technical stuff, and the more polished it gets, the more difficult it gets, but the basic tools are now there, and it's just unbelievable what you can do with, I mean, just you know, a Wi-Fi box and a little camera with an HDMI connection running into a laptop. You can broadcast sailing to the world. And guess what? If you pick the right spot and you share it with the right people, you might get 5, 10, 15, 20, 40, 50, 100,000 people watching it. You might get more people that watch this than watch a you know, $100,000 or $200,000 production from a major, you know, international series. And you just never know how it's going to work. I encourage you all to do it. I encourage you to get in touch with Nick or me at Sailing Anarchy and Twitter. If you want help learning how to stream your own races, we don't sit here and go, I'm not going to tell anyone because, you know, this is my competitive advantage. Like, there's a million regattas in the world. Just go.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Just leave it. Just leave it. Just leave it. That was just my computer. Sorry, I can take 2 meters of. Jesus. But if you're going to do this, be prepared to lose your equipment because the ocean is an unfriendly place to electronics. I brought all this up because there's so much stuff coming online this year with the advent of 4G and the prevalence of 4G. There's a lot coming online that makes what we're doing here and this half hour that we sit in between, because we're not allowed, and we wouldn't want to go in between through the course. At Melgus 24 Worlds had a photo boat in Denmark a couple weeks ago that actually was in the course that was affecting people's racing because they wanted to get the shots, and it looked great. But you know, as a racer, I'm not going to do that, and I think, and I don't think organizers should allow it, and I think media companies should be required to be held to a high standard. So we have things like drones that are now able to send through the 4G network, which is huge, because if we can keep sending up a drone every 20 minutes when their battery dies, and show you, fine, we shoot our start from this boat, it's going to be more interesting anyways, it's going to be more fun, but then we can send a drone up and go and fly around the fleet. How fun would that be? You know, we can look at settings, we can do it all without bothering the sailors at all. You know, as long as you have a decent.
Check who's in the lead.
Yeah, no, as long as you have a decent pilot. So it's an exciting time to be involved in sailing, and to see you've got the Extreme Sailing Series now broadcast reasonably well. I mean, you know, it's I wish they would spend more money on it, but you know, they see their audience is a finite size, and they haven't really spent the money to promote farther and start doing cross-promotional advertisements and that kind of stuff. You got the M32 series and the World Match Race Tour, which will be in M32 catamarans next year. Spending a lot of money on TV, on live streaming, on live stream itself, on on beautiful production stuff, on onboard camera, the new style of onboard camera that isn't the ridiculous multi-million-dollar solution the Volvo did. It's an affordable solution that can be duplicated for other events. So it's an exciting time to be in sailing. The World Series coming at Portsmouth is going to be incredible. We heard Stan Honey is back on board, and Liveline is back, and Nick's going to be there. So say hello to her, along with an estimated 350,000 other of your closest friends. And here's an amazing thing. You want to talk about a transformation of what the Cup could be, especially if England takes it home, which, come on England. The Formula One race had 350,000 people through the gates, and it was a huge success. Silverstone last weekend, okay? 350,000 people through the gates. British guy won it, huge success. Everyone's really happy, best race of the season. This World Series event in Portsmouth may very well have the same number of people. That's a little different. They're already coming to the beach, they're already coming to the water, but it's a great sign for sailing, especially if Sir Ben can take it home and take it away from that nutty Larry Ellison that decided that it wasn't worth keeping it in America. Let's take it to Bermuda. And what a great move for Ben to end up in Bermuda, which is really home turf. Bermuda's like, I mean, it's a little tiny bit of Britain. And we'll be there. We'll be there for sure, cheering them on. Honestly, anyone could win it, and it would make me happy. As long as it's not the American team. Just hired another Australian for the team. Anyone could win it, and we'd get it into a country where it could actually build. You can't build it in America if you're going to do it like this, like Larry did, and you try and just throw money at it and make it work. That's not going to happen in America. You have to build slowly, and Formula One now, and World Cup soccer finally getting an audience in America. The Women's World Cup, 20 million people in America watched it. That's more than half the countries that are represented in this race. Just watching one women's soccer game. That never happened. Okay, so it took a long time, a changing demographic, a good network that wanted to promote it, and it's doable, but not the way that it's being done now. So let's go, Sir Ben. And that ends my diatribe about what's going on in sailing broadcasting over the next period of time. But it's an exciting time, guys, and honestly, if the sailing audience makes sure to share and spread the links and let everyone know what's going on out there, you're going to help it work. And when this works, the sponsors are happy, and they see the numbers, and they want to spend more money on the events and on teams, so they bring in more support for racing. The events can be bigger and better. The media that we produce can be bigger and better, and it really all depends on you guys. So there's 100, 200 people watching this. There'll be, so multiply by 10 an hour, so let's say 2,000 an hour. Let's say there's 6,000 people that watch this broadcast today. It'd be about a reasonable number. But if each of you sends that link out to your network of people or post it on Facebook, we're going to double that or triple that. So do it. Give it a shot. You want to see San Francisco broadcast live next year? Give it a shot. Send out the numbers. Make it happen. Get all your friends watching, and we'll do this as much as we can. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Gracie, what do you think? Fun?
Yeah, definitely. Fun.
More fun than sitting on in a tower alone and covered by bird shit for 5 hours?
Definitely.
All right, there you go. So you have it from Gracie Ray. Take the camera from it. Give Gracie a break while there's nothing to shoot. I'll give a little bit of a wipe here. Definitely a little choppy out here. But here, we'll have a look at, here are your black flaggers. You can see people just kind of hanging around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We said there were 19. And we know at least one is still racing. And we are looking to the northwest along the coast. And we're just waiting for a little bit for the fleet to come down to the finish. And again, tomorrow we'll have lots to fill this space with. We're going to do a whole bunch of interviews and featurettes. And you know what, Jack? You got the, let's go roll the preview again. I'll give you a look at the preview once again if you're just joining us. Alright, thanks for coming back to us after that lovely little bit of glamour from Jack Watson and PD Crawford. We're going to have highlight reels for you every night. And great stuff. We're going to tell the story that in case you missed the racing during the day. But I'm just showing over here, one of the black flag boats is experimenting with that wing and wing. I think they're back on, no, they're still doing it. It's not easy. But if you can get it right, apparently, I mean, we very rarely see it work. We saw Tim Healy pull it off in race 1. But yeah, these guys giving it a shot. It doesn't look good, but hey, if it gets you ahead, certainly tactically it gives you a lot of options when you can just flip the main over.
Okay, we've got our first Spinnaker set, and it is Tim Healy.
Oh boy, right to the front, huh?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's Tim Healy. Brown's in first position. He was in that right-hand shift that I did report. Up on that right-hand side of the course, that he did look a little bit nice. There you go, first around the top, followed by a white chute. No idea who that is.
That could be Steve, couldn't it? It could be Steve.
It could be Steve. They need to have more significant branding, guys.
Yeah, you know, see, and another one, here's another one for you racers. If you expect to get sponsors to give you money, enough with the white sails. I don't care if you think it helps you win. It's never going to look as good, and it's never going to make sponsors happy. It's funny, especially the non-sailing sponsors. They love seeing their names, and if you don't help them see their names, then it's your own fault when you don't get them to renew.
Position, we have 839, the black flag boat.
So the black flag reach around is in 4th place. So certainly not. They're certainly in it.
Big lead to Tim Healy.
Yeah, not a surprise. You know, Tim has been unconscious in this boat. He and this is a charter boat.
This is charter boat.
Okay, so Healy, they were talking about bringing his boat over. Healy does not have that kind of budget. He's got a good Helly Hansen sponsor, but not that kind of budget to spend whatever it is, 15 grand to go here and back. Yeah, $15,000 or so. I mean, you can do less if you're really careful, but around there. So that's a lot of money to spend. So you charter the boat for a third of that, probably.
3,000.
3,000. So $1,000 a day usually, but so they get a little break because they're good. So you charter a boat and go out here and walking away with race 2. So
now,
Healy.
It was the first boat that actually rounded that port hand side gate, and I did mention at the bottom that that might be a good move because he did come out on the lifted shift, which was port. So I think that was one of the gains, and the second was that right hand pressure. He did hook into that. He was one of the first to hook into that, which was awesome to see. You can see the Italian mates are back in about 8.
Yeah. And folks, feel free to get on Twitter and let Nick know if you've got any questions for her at Nick_Douglas with 2 S's at the end. Or you can send them into @SailingAnarchy, but I probably won't see him for a while.
I've got my phone right here.
He looks like
this gentleman who saved it earlier.
All right. I've only lost my computer once. Healy's jibe back. Interesting.
Interesting.
I see something. I'm not going to put him in the screen because it's just going to make you nauseous. But we're going to very slowly creep our way down to the... And now, again, this is a bit of a European thing. Generally, they go through a buoy and then reach to the finish.
Finish. We do it in Australia
A hook
as well.
finish.
Yeah,
and
we
it
do a hook finish.
and that makes it easier for the scorers. The sailors hate it,
Yeah.
but it makes it a lot easier for the scorers.
Then
And
you've got them reaching, so it's a lot easier to see the numbers on the sail.
Yeah.
It's just, and actually, it will make it easier for the sailors because then you don't have discrepancy. When you've got a fleet like this where everyone's finishing so closely, the last thing you want as a sailor is to go in and go, that's not where I finished, and to have to do a scoring review.
Yeah.
Like, take the hook finish, people. Like, it's,
well, the only problem, there's two problems. One problem is if it's breezy,
yeah, true.
because then the hook gets to be really nasty. And the other problem is that, like we just saw in the last race, right?
Yeah.
You sail a great run, and then one guy fouling 3 people, or fouling a couple people, screws up your whole race, and you can't catch. If they were just going through a finish line, it's a more pure idea.
And you can't recover.
I think we're going to see this fleet standardize a lot in the way, the Melgus 24 has brought in what they call a championship coordinator
all the
to make sure that all the rules and all the race officers are doing things the exact same way, because these guys, they all meet, they all talk, they all figure out what they want, and usually there's a consensus to be built. I think to have 2 black flags and 3 recalls is ridiculous. With a midline boat, that wouldn't happen. So there's one easy change, Would the French ever change? Who knows? But, you make it part of the bid package. If you want to have a Worlds, you have to commit to running things a certain way, or the class brings in their own race officer.
Yeah, either you have your own race officer or regatta guidelines. I know a lot of classes now have their regatta guidelines. So if you want to run a regatta for us, that's what you have to do.
Nice hat, Gracie.
Perfect.
You have a little feed? You good?
All good.
All right.
Fed and watered.
All right, we'll get the camera back for Gracie Ray.
It's all over it. We're just checking out this massive lead here of Tim Healy. I mean, just look at the daylight between him and the rest of the fleet. Given that it was so close at the first bottom mark, this is actually quite amazing. Winning. I have a present for Gracie too. When she has her next break, she can have this.
Yay!
Girls eating melted chocolate. Okay, can I? They have social.
Really do feel sorry for all the people with black flag right now because how pretty does that look?
Weather mark fouls.
I'm gonna try and take down these.
Did you see what the weather mark foul between Flojo and was there a foul at the top mark there?
Yeah, there was an issue. Yeah,
And
definitely.
Alberini.
Yeah.
I think that Hardesty was good, right? The
Hardesty
Michigans were
was
good.
fine, I'm
yeah,
pretty
so
sure.
big
Yeah.
thank you to Chris Musler, our great friend from the New York Times. Thank you for watching, my brother, and I love you, and I wish you were here. Hardesty is sailing with Flojo y Cooperando, which when we read it literally, it means like limp and cooperative.
Fernandez.
It's not at all what it
Yeah.
means. What it actually means is like chill,
Yeah.
apparently. And that's Julian Fernandez, J24 star forever and ever and ever, the Valle de Bravo guy. And he's got Billy with him, and he's got Creature with him, and I don't know
Yeah.
who their fourth
I
is.
can tell you.
But Nick can get it for us. And yeah, Billy, it looked to me like Flojo was on starboard and Alberini was on port. And
Yeah, so what happened was, I mean, if you want to get technical, he should have avoided a collision, rule 13. So when they came in the zone, Alberini's tacked underneath, and basically he's just gone, you can't go there, and sailed down over him. I think that the Italians have taken onus on themselves. They've done a turn. They could then protest them afterwards for Rule 13 to say, hey, you should have avoided the collision and gone around me. But if they've got absolutely no way of avoiding that collision, then they don't have a leg to stand on.
And these guys have been racing against each other for a while now.
Yeah.
And not only in this class, but Hardesty and Creature have been racing against Albarini. Melvis
yeah.
32 class for years.
Yeah.
So they all know each other. We won't usually see that stuff go to the room, especially when someone takes a penalty. But you never know.
Yeah.
There could be a long night ahead of us for the jury and for the results. I think it's definitely possible.
So we have on board with MEX 384, we have Fernandez, Brockman, Hardesty, and Van Way. So that's their team there. But here we've got the leaders. It's Helly Hansen all the way. They're doing a great job. Tim Healy, John Mollicone, Gordon Borges, and Jeff Becker. Just repping here. They're on the plane. They're looking awesome. They've got a nice gap back. This is really fun sailing. And usually when you're leading in a regatta like this, it's tight, and you've never really got the wind in your pocket. And I guess they're thinking they don't have it in their pocket until the death. But you can have a bit of fun with it with this much pressure and some breathing space. That said, whoever that is out on that side is going exceptionally quick.
Let's watch it now that we have a little bit of ability.
The Australians, I think that might be 007 in purple and black there, maybe even the Mexicans. So we're going to watch them here coming into this hook finish, and I'll be writing down the results so that they can.
Healy has here's your stuff.
Thank you.
Healy has just thrown in his last jibe. Coming in on full noise. I just went up a little bit after that wave, but you watch it roll down the wave. Let's as soon as we get up here, we'll be able to. You're gonna have to wipe it down. And then Gracie, come back over here, maybe somewhere where you won't be getting super spray.
Okay.
All right, so final jibe for Healy.
No closer. Where is he going?
Now they're still running with the kite, so because of the left shift here,
It is Fernandez.
because of the left shift here, they can run with the kite to the finish. So look at that. This is what you want to see. Here's a boat surfing up on the waves. We'll stay with Tim here. You can see these boats can carry their kite pretty high. That's a pretty fun way to finish. Certainly gives the photographer something to shoot.
And we do have in second Fernandez. We've been talking about how good they are, and here they are. They're going to finish today, or at least after race 2, with 2 seconds, which will put them into the lead overall. It's a fantastic way to start the regatta. So we do have Tim Healy taking the bullet. Here he comes, 3 lengths to go, coming into the finish for race 2 after 3 recalls, 19 black flags. Tim Healy on Helly Hansen takes the gun in race 2 of the J70 World to be closely followed. I think if Fernandez had a little bit more runway, he would have got him. He flew down that run behind. We have Fernandez with Bill Hardesty takes his second for the day, and he is our new regatta leader. I think they're going to be a team to watch.
So
that is
Julian
fantastic.
Fernandez, a super nice guy, leading the regatta, and the reigning world champion knocking out the bullet. And I can guarantee you guys, if Tim Healy looks this good in a brand new boat right now, he has just jumped, in my mind, jumped ahead, because that was the big question for me, whether he was going to be able to hold it together in a new boat and make sure the boat moved well. But boy, no problem at all for Healy.
That is racing, guys. That is racing. I'm gonna get a picture up on Facebook of Tim Healy. Absolutely.
We've got some more action here. We've got, see if you can, before you get the picture up on Facebook.
Oh yeah, no, I'm watching these guys. I'm gonna call you
no.
guys. I'll get you. I'll get you to top 10. Don't you worry.
So bow 19 here in third place. Is that Steve McConaughey? No. That is.
No,
is that
it's your French. It's your
Is that our
Tiger.
Tigers?
That's your Tigers.
No, they're not wearing the Tigers anymore.
Oh, that's not the Tigers.
722.
They've got the Tigers have a pink shoe.
It's the X1 designer.
Okay, so that's the designer of X Wild Sails, and then Luffing the Kite as they come over is reach around in a little bit of trouble. And again, they were black flags, so
He's not in just a little bit of trouble.
yeah, it'll be very interesting to find out how that all works out. Back here, a nice battle coming on strong. Bow
That's
4
Aussie,
and bow 6.
That's 007, I think.
Aussie 007. Steve McConaughey lured, but the bow 4 is going to take that one.
Hugo Rochard.
Say who?
Hugo Rochard from Spain.
Hugo Rochard from Spain. And Luffing as they come across is McConaughey Just hitting the bow around that boat.
Second day in the boat. Nice job, Steve McConaughey. And here come your Italians.
Oh, that's Shavasana, Brian Keane.
Brian Keane.
A little bit of trouble in that puff. The wind went a little bit right and a little bit heavier there. Might need to stand up. Stand right.
And then we've got King.
That is not quit there. Not the fastest way to get across the line, but they get there. Brian King, Shavasana. And Calvi Network, the blue kite is next. Look at that wave, wow! That's Simon Ling just launching it over a wave there. And Calvi luffing the kite. Oh. Luffing out on his side.
He's gonna make it,
but he's just gonna trickle across the head of Ling. Look at that. Oh. Spin and get back there. Yeah. So we're gonna work, folks, and get some. So you're getting the finish. They cross. So folks, you just missed bow 15. Here's bow 8 crossing the line. That's Italy 629. And then just behind them is, what is MLT Malta? That's the BedSafe boat from Mapfre, USA 49 to windward. And GBR 433, bow 22. And look at the lineup here, guys, it's beautiful. And they're all overpowered, and they're all holding onto their kites, and the guys that aren't holding their kites are... Well, look at Cunningham at 380 without the kite. Oh no, sorry, Cunningham 94. Cunningham crosses.
95 is Heather Gregg.
Heather Gregg Earl on the Muse, and there's bow 380 reacher. Okay, but they already finished, didn't they? No, that's Pied Piper, that's Gannon Troutman. So Gannon, the young Gannon, 9 or 10 years old or whatever he is, goes with no kite. Now look at the pack here. Wow, there's our tiger friends. There, the tiger costumes are coming off. Look at this action. 2, 3 across, overlapped, all wiping out, all tight. It could get really interesting. Let's keep watching. Remember, it's the back of the fleet where it gets really fun. Fraser Yachts from Monaco. The Chileans come across. First Chilean, Jason. Action. Compliment by all of our friends. Race for the night, and you know we don't guys that have. Sorry. 2,000 euro? Yeah, between $2,000 and $3,000 for a spinnac. Oh, these guys are having trouble. Oh boy. Oh boy. Nice little battle back at the finish line. We're a little far away from it now, but so there you go. Just a couple stragglers left. That is the end of race number 2. And Jack, why don't you give us a little bit of love from our friends at Sperry for a minute or so? All right, well, let me have a look. We'll be back with you in a minute, folks.
I've got the top 20 scores for you.
Look at that.
Haha! Here we go, guys. The top 20 from race 2. As I called them over the line, we had USA 2, Healy looking beautiful. Mexico 384, Fernandez, Hardesty, that's 2 2s for today. France 722, they're the ex-Wild guys. USA 839, that's Bowen. But as we've mentioned, he did have that BFD in that race, so we'll have to see how that eventuates. From Espagnole, we have Rashad at 667. Then the own vote 49. 15th was GBR 433, that's the SA. 16 USA 94 Cunningham, a bit of a downfall on that second work. We did see it go right, and unfortunately that left us was not friendly to many people. 17th was another USA boat 95, that's Heather Gregg. 18th USA 380 is Gannon. 19th is from Monaco, boat 720 is the Isleys, and then a French boat in 20th, 297 is Win. So we'll have to see how that turns out. Maybe I need to get a 21st view as well, but that's all I recorded, and we'll see how we go.
Read them again.
Read them again?
Read them again.
Okay, did we go to a...
Sorry guys, we had a little bit of a stream interruption there.
Sorry guys, we're going to do the top 20 all over again. Take 2 for race 2. Clear start in the end, and we saw the left pay early on the first work. Then in the second work, a bit of a shift to the right hand side. The port hand gate was favoured, and we saw Tim Healy take a massive lead at the top mark to lead all the way to the finish. He was over the line first, that's USA 2. In second, Fernandez, that's 2 2s for today. He's got Hardesty on board, Mexico 384. Third was France 722, the ex-Wild Sail guys, awesome to see. In fourth, USA boat 839, Bowen. We have followed him for the entire race as he was reported to be a black flag, so he may have an interesting night in the protest room. We'll see how that eventuates. Fifth, from Espagnole, 667, we had Rashad. In 6007, McConaughey, big wave to Petey and Amanda Bosch. As we come up to 7th, USA 96 was Keen. Then Italy in 8th, 456 Alberni after doing his spins at the top mark after a little bit of an incident with Mexico there. We have spoken about that in depth. 9th, Great Britain 123 was Ling. That's that Air Force boat we followed all the way around the track. A little loss on the left in the second beat. GBR in 10th, 259 Ian Wilson. Then we're over to the second lot. 11th, Germany 797 Nickel. 12th, Italy 629 Celerio. 13th, Malta 441 Rapard with an awesome finish coming in. 14th was USA 49 Peter Duncan with Johnny Smith on board. Great to see those guys the other night. 15th, GBR 433 Essie. Then 16th, USA 94 Cunningham, who was in that early lead pack but lost out a little bit on the left in the second beat. 17th, USA 95 Heather Gregg. That's 2 good scores for her as well. 18th, USA 380 Gannon, and 19th, Monaco 720 Isley, with our top 20 finishing with the French boat 297 Win. So that's our top 20. As we know, there's going to be plenty to play for with 19 black flags in that second race. We're going to be ready to go for race 3. I'll keep you up to date and see if I can get some homemade do-it-yourself results.
Great, Nick.
We'll be bringing them straight to you.
Awesomely done. You're very, very good at this part of it. Hey Jack, let's have a little love from Sperry for 1 minute, all right? Well, we got two things. Thank you.
Sorry. No, I don't mind. I was just interested. I was like, oh. I don't know how that got there.
I just got a box from Sperry. I'm gonna go to Ireland. I feel like I'm gonna be in a van.
A remote island, just you and your camera. That's crazy.
I think I'm going under the sea.
Motion sickness relief pills.
We hope this voyage will help you uncover more about yourself and the world around you. We can't wait to hear your story.
I need a card reader.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back here on beautiful Bay of La Rochelle, and we've just finished race 2 of the J70 World Championships, and the sun's come out to play. That's the first big change in conditions. Secondly, we've had a little bit of a build in pressure, so we're seeing plenty of action as those boats were coming into the finish. A little swing to the left meant it was a bit of a hotter angle than they thought. Sorry, the right. And we've got Petey over my shoulder.
This'll work. This'll work.
We're just getting it sorted, making sure that we can bring you plenty of highlights action, guys. Make sure you stand by for those highlights reels. We're going to aim to get them up before we go to bed. Pretty exciting. Let's get this action. Petey's mounting the boat.
Dead. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Right.
Welcome, Senator Vandervoort. What are you doing here? You think we don't work on here?
I think I got seasick on this boat.
Alright, we've got a bit of a rock and roll.
Guys, this is Sonder. Sonder, Sam, and Fred are ready
This morning. Yeah.
All right, folks, this is Sonder. We've been talking about him. Oh yeah, just put it there. Why not? Just go bow to the wind for him.
Yeah.
So how was it?
It's a bit change in the weather.
Yeah.
Almost raining to sunny and not raining.
Pretty good looking stuff out there.
Yeah,
Good look good in the
beautiful.
viewfinder.
Yeah.
And I know I've been looking at your pictures going up on the web. It's going up quick. All good.
Perfect. Yeah.
Your U.S. crew is doing well. Say thank you to her.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, folks, a little more of the inside stuff, and I don't know how far we are before we have another start, but a little inside baseball. So Petey shoots with a gyro stabilizer, and in this stuff, in these little ribs, you have to have one. It's just useless, basically. And the gyro burned through the battery already, so I don't think he charged it all the way last night.
Basically, I think what happened is that there have been so many general wrinkles and black flags, and he just kept it running. So normally you can turn it off.
Yeah. Yeah, there were. I mean, we had five blown starts, I think, right? 4 or 5. So Petey's headed in so that we can make sure that he can start to get stuff ingested. 70, 80, 100 gigs worth of files ingested, and so we can have a nice newsreel for you guys later and make the world excited about the J70 World Championship. So that's what's going on. We grabbed Sonder because we know there's going to be some crazy stuff happen, and we can't miss it, and he can't miss it. And it's not like he needs to go and do a whole bunch of ingestion, because photos are tiny little things, and they don't take a lot of time to deal with at all, right, Sonder?
No.
So
I don't edit at all. I just throw them up.
Yeah, and like you guys know, I mean, seriously, all you have to do to become a superstar photographer is go and buy a Canon Rebel and go tell your local regatta that you're a professional photographer now, and I'm sure you're going to be awesome. This is how it works. It is how it works. It's amazing. You know, it's spectacular that this group collectively will spend millions of dollars to be here this week, and these guys are doing it okay. But like, people will do that for big regattas, and then the regatta, you have a professional caterer that does this, and a professional bookkeeper does that, and then you go, well, let's just have our treasurer's daughter got a camera, and she says she's really good. No. Well, spend the money, get this guy or some of the other great photographers out there, and don't mess around, because it will sell boats for you, bring boats next year. What a pro photographer can do, it takes 10 years and $50,000 or $60,000, and that's what it takes. You can't shortcut to being a lawyer. You can't shortcut to being a doctor. Go ahead, Nick.
And Meredith says, hi, Sonder. Please send me more pics right now.
Right now. You see this? Transferring.
Sometimes I feel like we really are just doing this for ourselves.
I sent the results, so that'll be our
Jeff and all the guys back home, and thanks for sharing our live broadcast as well. The first ever J70 Regatta broadcast live. And it's always fun to do that. You know, we try and be first with everything. We were the first to broadcast the Melgus 24s live, the Melgus 20s live, the Melgus 32s live, the A-Scouts live, the Moths live, and now the J70s live. And hopefully there'll be a lot of years ahead of this fun, interesting racing, especially when we can start to put things up in the air and be able to afford to do what some of what the Cup or the Extremes or the M32s or any of those guys do. Because let's face it, not a lot of regattas have $100,000+ to spend for a week of live TV. And that's what it costs at a minimum to do a good job of it, with 3 or 4 camera shoots and a top shot and helicopter and all that. But to put together $10, $15, $20, $25, $30,000 when the sponsors know what it can deliver, well, that's a different story, and it's doable, and that's where we're getting to. And you know, you're a class manager or a regatta organizer, give us a shout. We'll talk to you about it. We'll tell you the pros and cons. We'll set you up with people that can pull it off for you, even if we can't. You know, there's some great producers. In fact, Gracie and Jack work for Red Handed, a wonderful sailing TV producer, one of the best out there, and you know, all these guys will work with you, but just give us a call. Don't sit there and wonder what you can do. Give us a shout. You can get me at Alan, or at clean@sailinganarchy.com, and we'll talk to you all day long. Talk your ear off. As you can tell, we like to talk. So I think, is that a sequence? Looks like they're pretty getting into it here.
I can't see the other end. I need to be able to see the other end if that's okay.
You go forward a little bit and so we can see the flag. Sonder, just tell Gracie what you need and stuff as far as where you're going to be.
Oh yeah, no.
I mean, you're basically here to make sure that like you get the crashes. You've already got enough start shots, I'm sure.
Yeah, we're within the 4.
The light's getting a lot prettier.
Yeah, that's I got some really beautiful stuff. Seems to be a sequence.
Yeah, we're within the 4.
Yeah. Send so many photos now. The mayor is going like, oh, don't send them, right?
Jack, you got a race 3 tag up? Yeah. Race 3 start or starting line you can do on that black. Folks, you just heard us call it. This is race 3. We've got a Swiss 834 here. There's a really nice Swiss contingent in Denmark at the Melgus 24 Worlds. Just
Meredith says, Sander, I can hear you talking about me.
I hear clicking.
You're clicking.
Hi, Mara. I'm still sending.
Thanks to all you guys for watching. We really do appreciate it. We know you're interested, but we really do appreciate the support. Black down. Is it 30 till PM black down or 10 till PM black down?
30 till P down.
So that does sound like a black flag, and I would assume they would just keep it up now, right?
No, they've got the Peter up.
Yeah.
Definitely
well, they do have
see
P.
the Peter.
She didn't say PM black. I thought it said black.
No, Peter. 30 till Peter down.
Peter, that's spelled P-A-E-T-A-H. A-H.
Yeah, nah.
So this is the start of race 3, 2015 J70 World Championships, La Rochelle, France. And the full fleet is on the line now. No blacks or...
You can go forward a little bit or back a little bit, one or other. Thank you.
That's our 1 minute.
I just need to be able to see the key. There we go. Thank you. That's good.
I'd actually prefer you go forward a full boat.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Thank you. Nice. Okay, everyone's a little bit nervous here. Well back at this pin end especially. Very nice nice little dip here.
That's perfect.
This is more how a line should look.
That is perfect.
We've got
You have
30
that sag in
seconds
this
to
one,
go.
but
Yeah, look at the saggy
come
sag.
quick though, you know?
Yeah.
And it feels like the tide has started to turn as well.
It will have. It actually started to turn at 4:45. It's now 5:23.
All right, so we don't have that current pushing them across the line now.
This France 297 is really going to struggle to lay the pin here. Get ready for some action. 15 seconds or less. Still well back from here. We've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 3, 2,
Right, all clear. Nice one there.
That's your dip.
We're going to hang out here and watch 72 as they come past us. Let's watch the angles here. 72 is doing a nice job working over the waves there. You watch the tiller move. See the helmsman moving the tiller back and forth over the waves.
Tigers.
This is that's Philippe Guignol, Virtual Regatta, and the Tiger suit. So a nice job winning the pin. These guys are so much fun. They're absolutely hilarious, and they're pretty quick too, as you can tell. Philippe had over 1 million people sailing his virtual regattas last year. Amazing numbers. Now we can head and watch this group of 3 here. So this 26 Swiss boat here trying to stay bow out on 146 and just not taking the waves that well, you know? Slide over. But 26 not able to work their way through the waves as well as some of the other boats and losing a little bit of ground to that GBR. All right? Still plenty of chop here.
Really?
Well, it's our driver that told me it was going to be light today. Everyone agreed with the forecast. Everyone agreed with the forecast.
Oh, wow.
Nope, we're going to have 15 knots against tide.
Just showed me one of his photos. It's absolutely beautiful.
Head over to Sailing Anarchy, to facebook.com/Sailing Anarchy, or just go to Sailing Anarchy to J'adore, the front page story, for a link to Saunders Gallery, to which we will be adding all week until there are 17,000 pictures. All right, maybe there'll be 100 at the end of the week, or 150. But there's always plenty to see in a J70 regatta. There's always plenty to see in the west of France.
Look how he taxi this. It's way ahead of everything.
Sorry?
This guy's way ahead of everybody.
The Guignol, yeah, definitely with that lefty there. I mean, he knew what he wanted, and he's a local. Whoa! All right, we got to get out of here. Let's yeah. So in general, whenever you're shooting off one side of the boat, you got to shoot from the other side when we're going like this. Let me check the lens for you, sir. Keep going. Nick, move back. Just keep going up. Apologies for the wind noise. It is a little bit sporty out here. Oh, we're in a bad spot too.